TV 38 Sports presents Red Sox Baseball. Brought to you in part by your local Pepsi-Cola bottlers. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. By Bud Light, everything else is just a light. And by New England Telephone. We're the one for you, New England. New England Telephone. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to opening day at Fenway Park. I'm Sean McDonough, along with Bob Montgomery. And, Monty, I couldn't think of a better pitching matchup to start the 1988 season for all of Major League Baseball, as the Red Sox and the Tigers are the first to play this year. It's Roger Clemens against Jack Morris.
Sean, it's a beautiful sight, the bunting hanging at Fenway Park. It's kind of an extra thrill. You get the extra goosebumps on an opening day, no matter who's pitching. But with this matchup today, I think it's really a special occasion. Jack Morris, with over 141 wins in the 1980s, is known and earned the title of being the pitcher of the 80s, but I think Roger Clemens has kind of stolen the show from him with the consecutive Cy Young Awards, and both of them will have that in the back of their mind as they start this season off today.
Jack Morris is making his 9th straight start on opening day for the Detroit Tigers. Believe it or not, this will be the first opening day start for Roger Clemens. We'll come back with the opening ceremonies and later on today's first pitch of the season right after this.
Leading the Tigers is the manager, number 11, Sparky Anderson. And today's Tigers batting order, leading off with number 24, the center fielder, Gary Penna. Number 1, second baseman, Lou Whitaker. Number 41, first baseman, Darrell Evans. Number 3, the shortstop, Al Powell. Number 33, the designated hitter, Matt Lowe. Number 15, left fielder, Pat Sherman. 34, right fielder, Chet Lemon. Number 8, the catcher, Mike Heath. And number 16, the third baseman, Tom Brook. And the pitcher, warming up right in the bullpen, number 47, Jack Morris. Now here are the rest of the 1988 Detroit Tigers. Let's give them a nice hand. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the 1988 Boston Red Sox.
Leading the Red Sox, the manager, number 1, John McNamara. And today's Red Sox batting order, leading off with number 5, the center fielder, Brady Anderson. Number 17, second baseman, Marty Barrett. Number 26, third baseman, Wade Boggs. Number 14, left fielder, Jim Rice. Number 39, right fielder, Mike Greenwell. Number 24, First baseman Dwight Evans. Number 30, the designated hitter, Sam Horn. Number 10, catcher Rich Gedman. Number 7, the shortstop, Spike Owen. And the pitcher, warming up in the bullpen, number 21, Roger Clemens. Now in numerical order, the rest of the Red Sox. Number 3, infielder Jody Reed. Number 11, infielder Ed Romero. Number 15, pitcher Dennis Lamp. Number 16, outfielder Kevin Romine. Number 19, pitcher Jeff Sellers. Number 20, catcher John Marzano was warming up Clemens in the bullpen. Number 23, pitcher Dennis Oil Can Boyd. Number 28, the pitcher Steve Ellsworth. Number 33, coach Walter Riniak. Number 34, coach Bill Fisher in the bullpen, right center field. Number 35, coach Joe Morgan. Number 36, coach Rack Slider. Coach Al Bumbry, number 37. Number 38, outfielder Todd Benzinger. 41, pitcher Mike Smithson. Number 42, pitcher John Troutline. Number 44, pitcher Wes Gardner. Number 46 on the disabled list, pitcher Bob Stanley. Number 47, pitcher Bruce Hurst. That's Hurst. And number 48, pitcher Lee Smith. And now the Red Sox trainer, Charlie Moss, physical therapist, Rich Dewacki, is starting his 56th season with the Red Sox, equipment manager Vince Orlando. Ladies and gentlemen, within our OTC color guard, standing at attention, we ask you to please rise for a moment of silence. One of baseball's finest announcers, Jim Wood, passed away this spring. Please remain standing as we honor America with the national anthem, sung by Craig Schulman, who is starring in the award-winning musical Les Miserables at the Schubert Theater in Boston.
The dawn's early light, what so proudly beheld at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
We'll be back with the first pitch of the season right after this.
Last season, Cooper bats were a very big hit in the major leagues.
Tony Fernandez digs in. A swing and a drive. He's hit it hard to right field.
This year, Cooper gloves are a great catch in the majors, in Cooper styles and Cooper models. Now, Canada's best-selling gloves are making a name in the majors. And what Cooper did at the plate, they'll do in the field.
To left field. Here comes Raines coming hard. He dives. What a catch. A sensational catch by Raines.
Run lights here?
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
Because everything else is just a light.
Cops don't make money. That's the bottom line, period. What I am is necessary. And it's not about money. It's about being important, all right? Important to regular people.
We could save kittens all day, and people would still hate us.
What about me, Bud?
You're important, too.
If we weren't cops, we'd probably hate cops.
You are a cop's wife.
It's a dirty job. Be glad it's not yours on The Street, premiering April 12th on TV 38.
There had been concern about the weather here on opening day. It did rain here at Fenway Park earlier this afternoon, but right now it is just partly cloudy skies overhead. Temperature around 60 degrees and a rather pleasant day as long as the rain holds off. There is a chance that the rain will return at some point during the afternoon. Now it is time for today's ceremonial first pitch, and let's rejoin Fenway Park's public address announcer, Sherm Feller.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's ceremonial first pitch to open the 1988 season. A member of the 1988 United States Winter Olympic ski team from Acton, Massachusetts, representing all of the New England Olympians. Let's show her how much we love and appreciate them. Pam Fletcher.
Pam Fletcher, of course, was unable to compete in the Olympics because she broke her leg in a practice run in a freak collision with a worker on the course in Calgary. This won't make up for her lost Olympic thrill, but I'm sure it will help ease the pain a bit.
Right. Perfect strike.
Monty, so often on first ball ceremonies, we see politicians timidly walk out to the mound and nervously fling the ball toward home plate. Pam savored her moment before this sellout crowd here at Fenway.
She's having a lot of fun, isn't she?
She sure is. She didn't hurry up and throw that pitch. I was afraid the rain was going to come back before she fired it in. Here are your lineups for opening day. For the visiting Detroit Tigers, the defending American League East champions, Gary Pettis leads off in center field. Lou Whitaker at second base. Darrell Evans is the first baseman. Alan Trammell at shortstop. Matt Noakes, the designated hitter. Pat Sheridan batting sixth in left field. Chet Lemon in right field batting seventh. Mike Heath doing the catching and batting eighth. And Tom Brookins is the third baseman. He bats ninth. For the Red Sox, Brady Anderson makes his major league debut today in center field. Marty Barrett at second base. Wade Boggs, the third baseman. Jim Rice in left field. Mike Greenwell in right field. Dwight Evans at first base batting sixth. Sam Horn, the DH, batting seventh. Rich Gedman is the catcher. And Spike Owen is the shortstop, batting ninth. This is the fourth time that the Red Sox have opened the regular season against the Tigers. They are 1-2 on opening day against Detroit, but this is the first time they have opened the season against the Tigers here at Fenway Park. Monty, you've been in this situation before, opening day, as both a rookie and a veteran. I'd imagine the butterflies are far more significant than they are at any time during the year. And I wonder, at what point in the game do they go away? Do they go away quickly once you take the field?
Well, for Clemens, I'm sure they'll go away after the first couple of pitches. For the catcher, it'll be after the first pitch. And I think each one of the hitters, as you anticipate facing Jack Morris or any pitcher on opening day, as you see a couple of pitches, and maybe before you get to that point, they go away. Instincts take over once they have gone through the opening day ceremonies, and once that ball is hit to you or you have a chance to see a pitch, they're usually gone. Brady Anderson's case may be a little different, however. Most of the veterans will have no more perhaps butterflies than usual. I think butterflies are there every day. I found them to be there, and I always worked under the impression that if the butterflies didn't show up before you started to play a game, something was wrong, and you maybe should look for something else to do.
That's exactly what John McNamara said when I spoke with him before the game. I asked him if he had butterflies, and he said his wife Ellen this morning at home said, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "I'm nervous." And she said, "You shouldn't be nervous." He said, "Hey, if I'm not nervous on opening day, then I ought to find another profession." There's Jack Morris warming up, the starting pitcher for Detroit today. The umpires who will call the plays in this season opener: Joe Brinkman is the home plate umpire. Durwood Merrill calling the plays at first. Tim Welke at second. And Terry Cooney is at third.
The reason for our delay right now, everything is set on go here. The field is in absolutely perfect condition. They just found the umpires. Somebody had locked them in their dressing room upstairs behind the Red Sox clubhouse and wouldn't let them out.
Umpires very much a story in spring training, and that will be one of the stories of the day as we go along as well. Will they strictly enforce the stop as far as balks are concerned? We saw balks called repeatedly in spring training. And will the strike zone indeed be higher? I think we'll see a great example of it today with Roger Clemens being a high fastball pitcher.
I don't think there's been any difference in the calling of balls and strikes. I can see no heightening of it at all during the spring games that I witnessed. As a matter of fact, I thought I saw some pitches that were strikes normally that weren't called strikes. If Clemens is given the opportunity to work up a little bit in that strike zone, it's not that Clemens is going to change that much. It's going to make hitters change, perhaps. And they can't handle Roger Clemens' fastball, especially when it's up there. If they give him that little bit of an edge, it just should make him that much better.
Joe Morgan out representing the Red Sox, and Sparky Anderson representing the Tigers as the Red Sox take the field on opening day before the usual standing room only crowd. There might be a threat of rain in the air, but that is not going to prevent the Fenway faithful from making their annual pilgrimage on opening day. And it's Roger Clemens on the mound making his first ever opening day start for Boston.
Finished in such a flurry last year, finished in such a flurry with style, as you look at the numbers right there. So very impressive was the fact that he had to really turn the first part of the season around to come up with that 20-9 mark. How he does that is just because he is such a hard worker. Wanted to strengthen his legs this winter just a little bit, perhaps to help him with a little more drive. His numbers there in his career, and even more impressive numbers here at Fenway Park. I think he's like 31-13 here on the home grounds. And when you're pitching in a ballpark and you're a high ball pitcher, as Clemens is, and you're working with a short left field fence, although we have mentioned many times, there are not many hitters that can pull a Roger Clemens fastball, so it really doesn't work to a disadvantage of him. Where Clemens has to be a little bit careful, and a lot of pitchers have to be a little bit careful, is the short, straight-away center field area hits. Overlooked so often. It's only about 390, maybe 92 feet to straightaway center field, so just as much damage can be done there as the left field wall can, and especially to a hard thrower like Clemens, who you figure not to be pulled very often.
Roger Clemens was winless in 3 starts last season against the Detroit Tigers. He was 0-2 with 1 no decision. He does have an above 500 record against the Tigers lifetime. His career mark against Detroit, 3-2, but with a rather lofty 4.47 earned run average.
Well, you would owe that to the fact that these Tigers have some pretty good fastball hitters in that lineup. They have some aggressive hitters. Certainly Whitaker would get you very early in the part of that batting order, although he'll be batting second today. He usually, you normally find him in the leadoff spot, but Gary Pettis has changed that around a little bit. Clemens will lose his nervousness a little bit, maybe already, by the time he gets to the mound and walks up that hill. He is so businesslike. He knows exactly what he can do and what he cannot do. It doesn't worry him too much one way or the other who he's facing. We mentioned yesterday afternoon the fact that Clemens will be facing some left-handers, more left-handers in this Tiger starting lineup today than right-handers. But there again, it makes no difference to him if you're right-handed or left-handed, because he's got two ways to go with you. The riding fastball has an effect to either side of the plate as far as the hitter is concerned. And Roger, of course, still has the split-fingered fastball.
You talk about nerves as far as Roger Clemens is concerned. Talking with Roger in the clubhouse before the game, the only thing he talked about is that new message board, which we'll see from time to time out in center field. He said the past couple of days he's been here in Boston. He came back early to get ready for opening day, and he's been running on the field at Fenway, and they were testing out the machine, and all he did was tell me about what a great machine that was up there in center field. They were playing Leave It to Beaver one day while he was running through the outfield. He didn't seem the least bit nervous as far as opening day is concerned. Gary Pettis to lead it off. He's the first batter for all of Major League Baseball in 1988. Pettis acquired from the Angels in the offseason, and you saw his numbers with California. Here's the first pitch of the 1988 season. Pop-up. Down the left field line, Spike Owen in fair ground, makes the catch. One pitch and one out for the Red Sox. Lou Whitaker batting second this afternoon, the Tigers' second baseman. He and Alan Trammell beginning their 11th season together as a double play combination. Fastball from Clemens high for ball one. Slight breeze blowing out toward left center field, and ball two misses high and outside. The 2-0 from Clemens, again high, and it's 3 balls and no strikes to Lou Whitaker. Ball 4 high. Clemens missing high, and he walks Whitaker on 4 pitches.
A little surprised that Pettis would have gone for the first pitch from Clemens. I kind of find it unusual that perhaps he wouldn't have had orders to hit with a strike on him. That's one thing they want to do, is set up things more with Pettis as that leadoff batter.
Darrell Evans, the batter. The Tiger first baseman hit 34 home runs last year at age 40. Strike one. Fastball over from Clemens. Lou Whitaker stole 13 bases last season for the Tigers. He's held on first by Dwight Evans. No score. We're in the top of the first inning. The 0-1 to Evans. On the outside corner, strike two.
It's a little tough for a hitter when you have to look at this kind of pitch, not to mention the velocity from Clemens, that he has the pinpoint control. That's the whole story with Clemens, the fact that he is a power pitcher, but it can strike you out by using no more than probably 3 to 4 inches of plate.
The crowd looking for the strikeout. The pitch is low, ball one.
Remember, the Tigers were so aggressive base running all spring. Even they were behind in games. At least we saw a couple of those games where that did take place. And the Red Sox were very aggressive running the bases. It could be a lively afternoon.
The pitch just missed the inside corner, and it's 2-2.
That's if these pitchers allow many base runners. Very close pitch here. Clemens trying to tail that ball back to the inside corner, and it kind of hung in there straight on him. As a catcher, you'd be saying to the umpire, you should call him out for taking that when if it's that close. Try to widen that plate out for your pitcher, starting very early in a ball game if you possibly can. And with Clemens, if you can get him with his accuracy to just miss the inside or just miss the outside and get it widened by the 6th inning, look out.
Strike 3. Breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Todd Evans looking, and that's strikeout number 1 for Roger Clemens.
Roger wouldn't necessarily be looking for it. He knows they're going to come, but pitchers are like home run hitters. Split-fingered fastball will work to that outside corner. Now that one is over the hump and out of the way. That man he knows what he's doing just about all the time.
The batter is Alan Trammell, the Tigers shortstop, with 2 outs. We're in the top of the first, no score. Lou Whitaker aboard at first base, and he draws a throw from Clemens.
Well, there's some outstanding numbers there for your cleanup hitter. Sparky Anderson was looking for a contact hitter. He got that and more.
Joe Brinkman not very generous with the strike zone here in the top of the first, and it's ball 1 to Alan Trammell. Trammell beginning his 12th season in the major leagues, but still just 30 years old. Ball 2. The numbers you saw from last season for Alan Trammell. Career highs in virtually every area. His .343 average a career high, 28 home runs a career high as well. Same for his 105 runs batted in and his 205 hits. Breaking ball over for a called strike. 2-1 to Trammell. Three and 1. Major League Baseball's 11th winningest manager all time, Sparky Anderson.
He was just as nervous as McNamara, if not more so, with all those wins under his belt. Just there, you can't help it.
Popped up, middle of the infield. Marty Barrett on the center field grass makes the catch. And the first half inning of the season is complete. The Tigers do not score in the first, and at the end of half an inning, it's Detroit nothing and Boston coming up.
What does it take to become the #1 dealers in New England and stay #1? Well, your local Ford dealers know. Now at your New England Ford dealer, there's big savings on the newly redesigned front-wheel drive Ford Tempo. You can get a $500 cash bonus, and you can save $1,000 on the special option package. That adds up to a savings of $1,500. So go with #1 for a great deal on the #1 cars and trucks in America, your New England Ford dealers.
Sammy's back in the sports spotlight, and the whole Cheers gang wants to share it.
I'm standing here at a popular Boston watering hole called Cheers.
What's wrong with his voice?
Uh-oh, this flash just in. Well, looks like Sam's old news.
I'll catch you later, huh?
Maybe it's time for this old sport to try a new game, huh?
I tell you, go for it.
Welcome to the Kiss and Flip competition. Next time on Cheers.
Cheers, Monday at 7 on TV 38.
We invite you to enter the TV 38 Pepsi Home Run Sweepstakes and get a chance to win a pair of Red Sox tickets and a case of Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. Just send your name and address to TV 38 Pepsi Home Run Sweepstakes, Box 500, Boston.
Monty, one of the best in the business on the mound this afternoon for the Detroit Tigers, starting his 9th straight opening day game for Detroit, Jack Morris.
One thing that makes him one of the best in the business is the consistency for this man. He'll get you into the 7th inning with almost no problem at all. And those wins around that 18 mark last year, he's going to be between 17 and 20 or more wins a year for you. He didn't get that title of being the pitcher of the 80s just by chance. The numbers on this man is just unbelievable. Those 162 wins, there 141 of those, as I mentioned earlier, have come since 1980. So very consistent, so very knowledgeable of what he wants to do and what he can do. A lot like Clemens, both these pitchers, they don't give up the cheap run in a ball game that hurts them. They rarely get themselves in a position where they beat themselves from the 7th inning on in a ball game. Morris will give you the fastball, and his fastball, by the way, has improved a little bit starting with last year. He used to throw about 3 out of 5 of his pitches with a split-fingered fastball. By doing that, it cost him some velocity with the fastball. He has not completely shelved the split-fingered fastball, because you'll see a number of them here this afternoon, but you'll see a lot more fastballs with good pop on it. He's able to set you up easily with the fastball. And another thing that he can do, the good sharp slider, he can get over the plate almost at any time. So the reason with the consistency, the know-how, you know as a hitter how he got you out when you go home. It's not a question of him really trying to trick you. He'll come right after you. He is really a bulldog, working hard type pitcher.
You mentioned that Jack Morris is the pitcher of the 80s, and clearly he is if you look at his win total. Jack Morris leads all Major League pitchers with 141 wins in the 1980s. 141 wins. Next highest total, Fernando Valenzuela, 113 wins in the 80s. So he's won nearly 30 more games than any other pitcher in Major League Baseball in this decade. And Jack Morris is the only pitcher with at least 15 victories in each of the last 6 seasons. He'll face Brady Anderson, Marty Barrett, and Wade Boggs in the bottom of the 1st in a scoreless ball game on opening day at Fenway Park. And a look at the new scoreboard, the message center out in center field. Bright color screen with a very clear picture, and that picture focused on Brady Anderson coming to bat for the first time here at Fenway Park.
One thing we might remember about Morris, one thing that's held him down from possibly a few more wins in those 80s, is that he is a rather slow starter. He doesn't get out of the blocks particularly well.
First pitch of the season from Jack Morris. On the corner for a strike. Brady Anderson, 24 years old, in just his 4th season of professional baseball. That's low and inside, ball 1.
Oh, Mike Heath looks like a stop sign back there, doesn't he? A little gray between those orange shin guards and the orange chest protector.
We won't have any trouble finding Mike Heath if the fog comes rolling back into Fenway Park as we had here earlier this morning. 1-2 now to Anderson.
There's a pitch there that might make me believe that the strike zone has been raised a bit. Now, that's a breaking ball. If you're a catcher, you don't want Morris to get that strike. You don't want him to throw it up there.
Slap foul, still 1-2. Joe Brinkman seemed quite tight with the strike zone in the top of the inning, but the 2 strikes thrown by Morris to Anderson were right on the corners and called for strikes. Strike 3. Anderson strikes out and 1 away here in the 1st.
There's the effect of the split-fingered fastball to the left-hand hitter. It looks almost like a screwball, but with a lot more velocity. Notice those fingers split wide apart and kind of a funny type of rotation. And, oh, my goodness, what movement.
Marty Barrett, the batter. Got off to a very slow start last season, but came back to hit .293. He was the Red Sox steadiest player in spring training. Ball 1 is low and outside to Marty.
I don't know how much stock you can put in that pitchers are usually well ahead of hitters by the time the season starts.
Hit sharply but foul. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And Mike Kramer, our cameraman in the Tiger dugout, already having to dodge bullets. It'll take our camera guys a little while to get their fielding skills sharply honed as they were at the end of last season.
He's going to have to stay with that shot just a little bit longer than that, though. He can't be getting out of the way.
The 1-1. Hit sharply again, foul. And the first souvenir of the season. And he had to earn that one. It was slowed down a bit by the ball boy sitting just in front of that gentleman who wound up with the ball, but he made the grab, and it's 1-2.
Well, has already had himself a great season, hasn't he? Opening day line drive. Snagged it, too.
A ball and 2 strikes with 1 out, and the base is empty here in the bottom of the first. And a check swing and a ball outside.
If indeed the pitchers are ahead of the hitters, and I'm not so sure that they're not, with Clemens matching up against Morris today, we may not see many base runners. It may be a day off for the hitters. You know one thing, if you get a base hit today, you know you've earned it.
The 2-2 to Barrett. Fouled out of play to the right side. Wade Boggs on deck. Marty Barrett will turn 30 during this baseball season on June 23rd. Broken bat up the middle. Trammell throws out Barrett. 2 away here in the first.
Marty, once again, is going to come up with a split-fingered fastball here from Morris, and it'll just really rip that bat apart. Very softly hit. Once again, some fine reaction by Trammell as that ball was working back to his right. Not too many bad hops for Trammell or Whitaker.
Here's a man looking for his 4th straight batting title this season. Wade Boggs looks at ball 1. Boggs has won 4 batting titles in all. In 1983, 85, 86, and 87. 2-0. No score. The bases are empty. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Foul out of play. 2-1. Sheridan back to the wall. It's off the wall. Boggs heading for second. The throw from Pettis. Not in time. A double for Wade Boggs. That's the first hit of the 1988 season.
Kind of interesting to see Boggs right away go for a strong part of his game, even though he's ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. He only needs 199 more now. Sheridan got himself too close to that wall, and Pettis had to come from way over in center field. Boggs wasn't sure he wanted to turn this into a double. He made the turn at first, kind of paused for a second. Once he saw the ball get by Sheridan, he realized he had plenty of time to move it right on into second base. Managers love it. Your teammates love it. That 2-out double.
And Jim Rice, the batter. Boggs at second with 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the first. No score. Rice hoping to get back on track this season. Those numbers, a disappointment by his standards. Low, ball 1. Jim Rice was happy to see the season begin When it did, he hit .526 in the Red Sox last 6 spring training games. Time called. The 1-0. Off speed and a strike. Great change of speed by Morris, and that had Rice fooled. It's 1-1.
Boy, the motion is what makes it such a great pitch. You look, he's coming right at you all the way, and then all of a sudden, he pulls the string on it. What a floater. That's an 8th inning, 9th inning pitch.
Fouled at home plate. A ball and 2 strikes to Jim Rice.
Rice really moving up, choking up on the bat now. 1986, this is where he was really tough because he played the ball to center and right center. They're playing him that way now, as a matter of fact.
Check swing. It's a strike, says Joe Brinkman, and the inning is over. A hit and no runs for the Red Sox in the first, and at the end of 1, there's no score.
There are 3 nevers in sportscasting. Never wear your best suit to a locker room celebration. Never yell "it's out of here" before it's out of here. And even if you have to say Biancalana de Benicas de Balboni, never, never let them see you sweat.
Introducing Dry Idea for Men, the most powerful wetness protection available to man.
Sweat belongs on the ball field, not in the broadcast booth.
New Dry Idea for Men in sports scent and classic scent. Never let them see you sweat.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We love to fly.
He's the kid.
And it shows.
It's time for Lifestyles of the Original Party Animal with the grand poobah of partyometry, Bud Light's own Spuds McKenzie, as he's planning tonight's big bash. His fans watch as he tans his way to party elegance, a facial and massage, and Spuds McKenzie is ready to party. And Spuds parties with only Bud Light. He knows everything else is just a light.
No score at the end of 1 inning on opening day at Fenway Park. The Red Sox playing host to the Detroit Tigers in the first game of a 3-game series. And Matt Noakes will lead it off against Roger Clemens here in the second. Noakes, the designated hitter today. And Mike Heath is doing the catching. A great rookie year a year ago for Noakes. He was the first Tiger rookie to hit more than 30 home runs since 1937. And the first pitch to him is a strike.
The thing that Sparky Anderson has been confronted with in 2 consecutive years now, he lost his 4th spot hitter in Lance Parrish. Noakes picked up that ground there, at least on an equal as far as the home runs would be concerned. And now here in 1988, he's lost his 3rd spot hitter with Gibson going to the Dodgers. So it's going to take some work for him to repair that. And some kind of discussion going on here between Brinkman and third base umpire Durwood Merrill.
Durwood and Terry Cooney pulled the old switcheroo when the lineups were posted in the press box today. They had Terry Cooney umpiring at third and Durwood at first, but it's the other way around. 0-2 the count to Noakes. The Tiger rookie, by the way, who had more than 30 home runs in 1937 was Rudy York, and that pitch is outside for a ball. Swing Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dropped by Gedman. He'll have to flip it down to first, and he does to retire Noakes. Second strikeout for Roger Clemens as Noakes is retired and one away here in the second.
Good hard breaking ball by Clemens, and good job by Gedman to keep this ball bunched up right in front of him. Comes just a routine play there. Here's a little bit of a, it's just an over-anxious sign here. Noakes, that ball bounced probably 6 to 8 inches in front of the plate.
The batter is Pat Sheridan, the Tiger left fielder. Strike 1. Sheridan in his 7th year in the big leagues. Fouled off the mask of Joe Brinkman. Welcome to opening day, Joe.
That one may have been in the shoulder area, maybe the collarbone area.
Looked like it went off Gedman's mask originally. Perhaps that's what it did. Ricocheted off Brinkman somewhere else after it hit Gedman in the mask. I'm not sure.
Direct hit. Left shoulder area.
Nope, right off the shoulder. Charlie Moss, the Red Sox trainer. Saying, let me help you with that shoulder, Joe. And by the way, widen that strike zone a bit for Roger, if you would. Do the umpires get as much protection, Monty, with those inside chest protectors that they all wear now?
They don't have as much protection as they did when they wore the balloon. That's the reason a lot of them were so long and changing.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the second for Clemens. He struck out 3 in all.
Roger really kind of hung up his billboard during spring training. He went right back to the strikeout there. He was so overpowering, and that's the fastball there that I mentioned earlier. You can't hit it. And if they move the strike zone up enough for him, Roger's going to make you offer at it, because that ball there is not a strike at any time. Looks so inviting to a hitter.
Chet Lemon, the batter. Those totals, his best since 1984. No score. We're in the top of the second. The pitch is a ball. Ball too low. Mike Heath waiting on deck. A lot of veterans on this Tiger club. Chet Lemon beginning his 14th season in the major leagues. He's 33 years old. Fastball over at the belt for a strike.
Now there's your high strike. If that's the one they're going to change there, that's definitely going to work to Clemens' advantage. Now that's more than a ball width above the belly button there, and he gets that pitch.
The 2-1 from Clemens. On the outside corner at the knees, strike 2.
It's something, all of a sudden you're 2-0 to Clemens, and you feel like you have him somewhat where you want him, if that's ever possible. Before you know it, you looked up. You're in the count, actually, in a hole with Clemens when you're 2-2.
The crowd looking for him to strike out the side, and he does! Broken ball on the outside corner. Roger Clemens strikes out the side in the second. At the end of an inning and a half, it's Detroit nothing, and the Red Sox nothing.
Here's the easiest way to wash and wax your car. Have someone else wash and wax your car. Here's the easiest way you can wash and wax your car. The Zip Wax Hydro System from Turtle Wax. It's like having an automatic car wash in your driveway. The Hydro System powers away dirt and grime and leaves the kind of shine and protection Turtle Wax is famous for. The Zip Wax Hydro System from Turtle Wax. The easiest way you can wash and wax your car.
The Honda Accord DX hatchback. You could get it with front-wheel drive, power brakes, a handy rear hatch, or for over $2,000 less, you could get this Dodge Shadow with those same standard features. And with combined package discounts and cash back, save up to $600 more. You see, at your Dodge dealer, it's really simple. We make it affordable.
Hi, I'm Spike Horn of the Boston Red Sox. As you might guess, I can develop quite a thirst out on the field. That's why I was happy to get one of these terrific Red Sox mugs, compliments of Tropicana Pure Premium. You can receive a mug just like this by coming to Fenway Park on Saturday, April 30th, when we play the defending world champion Minnesota Twins. Be sure to be at Fenway Park on Saturday, April 30th for some exciting baseball and your complimentary mug from Tropicana Pure Premium.
Roger Clemens with his 4th strikeout of the afternoon here, getting all 3 Tiger batters in this 2nd inning. Of course, Roger holds the record for most 10 strikeout games in a career. That stands at 21. He just quickly went right by Smokey Joe Wood in that department, and I would say with 4 through the 2nd, he's well on his way to adding 1 more number onto that one.
No score through an inning and a half. The Red Sox coming to bat here in the bottom of the 2nd. Mike Greenwell, Dwight Evans, and Sam Horn, the scheduled 3, to face Jack Morris. Greenwell to start it off.
Mike Greenwell.
Greenwell struggled in spring training, hit just 232 in the spring, but the last couple of days of spring training in particular, he seemed to hit the ball hard right at the opposing fielders. The first pitch to him is in the dirt, ball 1.
You know, to hear the old saying, when opening day comes around, it matters not what you did in spring training. Everybody starts out with all zeros, but don't think for a second that you don't bring some of those thoughts to the start of the season with you. If you're struggling with that bat in Florida, you're not apt to just turn it all around in a matter of a couple of hours.
That's low, and it's 2-0.
Can be a combination of things. Usually it's a question of whether you're picking the ball up properly out of the pitcher's hand and where your timing is. It's not mechanically. There's not an awful lot of things that go wrong with a big league hitter.
Ball 3, and Greenwell in the driver's seat at 3 balls and no strikes. Ball 4. Greenwell walks on 4 pitches. The first walk thrown this afternoon by Jack Morris. Dwight Evans now at home at first base. And a career year last season for Evans. No score. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And it's fouled out of play. Evans perhaps remembering 2 seasons ago on opening day when he swung at the first pitch leading off the game in Detroit and took Morris into the seats.
I'm surprised that Morris would have started him with a fastball. He may have tried to trick him a little bit.
Strike 2 on the outside corner. 0-2 to Evans.
Morris right to the slider to follow up a pretty good fastball that was fouled off. Tip your hat.
Greenwell draws the throw and has to hurry back in there. Greenwell stole only 5 bases all of last season. Again the throw, and this time it's head first into the bag for Greenwell.
Just about the same lead, maybe a little different thought in Greenwell's mind. He'd be just about on the edge of the AstroTurf cutout.
Fouled back, and it's still 0-2 to Dwight Evans.
Want to use that as a guideline for base runners. Greenwell would not have a foot out on it. He would be right at the edge of it. You usually think of that as a good lead, but not necessarily a big one. Once that foot would get out on what would be the carpet, that would be a big lead. Right at the edge of it now.
Greenwell is going. The pitch a strike. The throw to second in time. It's a strike him out, throw him out double play. The second baseman Whitaker taking the throw. 2 outs and the bases now empty here in the second for Boston.
Mike Heath behind the plate today for this very thing. He's a much better thrower than Noakes. Red Sox being aggressive on those bases. Heath about 50% level last year of throwing out would-be base stealers, and a good play by Whitaker to drop the tag right down on Greenwell, who it looked with the naked eye as if maybe you say, well, he tagged him too high. Well, he did tag him high, but he tagged him before he got to the bag.
Sam Horn, the hitter. No score. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Big rip and fouled straight back for a strike. John McNamara beginning his 4th season as manager of the Red Sox. The 0-1 to Horn. Bounce towards second. Whitaker throws Horn out. And that's all for Boston in the second. And at the end of 2, there's no score.
Instead of the usual good deal at Midas, here's a deal that's unusually good.
Your Greater Boston dealers offer the Economizer Plus muffler at $30 install guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's over. We have nothing in common.
Never agreed on one thing. Ever.
Great. I'm too good for him.
I can do better.
I need to find someone
more like me.
When you find something you have so much in common with, something so unique, so refreshing,
Hi.
You just can't stop yourself from grabbing it and holding on to it forever.
Monday, April 4th on TV 38.
We took polls, and there were people who actually believed John was guilty.
Geraldine Ferraro goes on the record.
You're saying it was very unfair to selectively go after somebody with a famous name.
With Boston's own libertarian, Alan Dershowitz.
If I were indicting the system, my husband would have ended up convicted. I mean, the system worked.
Monday, April 4th at 8, Geraldine Ferraro goes on the record with Alan Dershowitz. A provocative half hour you can't afford to miss on TV 38.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Boston Red Sox and TV 38 and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the Boston Red Sox or TV 38 is prohibited. Let's pause now for station identification. This is the TV 38 Red Sox Network.
This is TV 38. WSBK TV, Boston.
To the third inning we go here on opening day at Fenway Park. No score through 2 innings. As we expected, a pitcher's duel developing between Roger Clemens, who has struck out 4 without allowing a hit through 2 innings, and Jack Morris, who has recorded 3 strikeouts while allowing just a hit and a walk through 2. Mike Heath to bat first here in the third. And he takes a fastball high for ball 1. Heath played at least 1 game at every position except pitcher for the Tigers last year, and he looks at strike 1.
Enjoys playing, has fun playing. Knows his position on your ball club. He'll do whatever you ask him to do.
1-2 now to Heath.
And somehow he figures into some action. When he played for Oakland, I always thought of him as having springs in his legs. He didn't always go about blocking balls the most, well, not the best way mechanically. He just simply gets the job done back there. Bounces around, a lot of pep.
Crowd looking for the 4th straight strikeout, and they get it. Four in a row for Clemens and 5 for the ball game.
Makes it look so easy, doesn't he? He just got the pitch set up the outside corner with a breaking ball, and here you are.
Tom Brookins, the Tiger third baseman, takes a strike. Fouled back, and quickly it's 0-2. Clemens 1 strike away from his 5th straight strikeout. And the crowd anticipates the moment. Ball 1. You saw the numbers for Brookins from a year ago, just seconds ago. His 13 home runs last year, a career high. Check swing, they appeal. No, says first base umpire Terry Cooney, and it's ball 2.
No swing on Brookins, able to check it just in time. Head of that bat stayed not shoulder level.
The 2-2 pitch. Fouled straight back, still 2-2.
I always think of Tom Brookins as a sneaky type hitter. Doesn't hit you an awful lot of home runs, but 13 home runs for him last year. He does some, he hits them when they hurt you.
Again, the 2-2. Fouled out of play. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. The base is empty here in the top of the 3rd. No score.
Tigers have always liked the bat of Brookins, and he's worked awfully hard to better himself as a defensive player. He never figures into their plans at third base and somehow winds up playing there the majority of the games each year.
Again, looking for his 5th strikeout in a row. Clemens misses well high and inside, and the count now full to Brookins at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The payoff pitch. High, ball 4. Brookins comes back from the grave to earn a 1-out walk here in the 3rd.
Unusual that you find Clemens to get a hitter that quickly on his hip and then allow him to get away. Not necessarily with the strikeout, but perhaps a little overthrowing. No question, a little overthrowing on Clemens' part the last 2 pitches. He was tightening up the cinch here just enough to get that back. Look at that. Notice how the hand is shaking a little bit. See, he's still got a little bit of an edge on, even though he's working a Clemens-type game other than the couple of walks.
Gary Pettis, the leadoff batter, began the season by swinging at the season's first pitch and popping it to Spike Owen down the left field line. Brookins back safely. And the crowd scurrying now as the rain begins to come down here at Fenway. First pitch to Pettis. Again, he first ball swings and pops it out of play along the left side. Yesterday, in a game we televised here on the TV 38 Red Sox network, Pettis was up 5 times and swung at the first pitch in all 5 at-bats, and he's done that in his first 2 at-bats today against Roger Clemens.
Somebody will change that, or he won't be hitting leadoff very long.
Again popped up, shallow left field. Jim Rice is under it. 2 away. And the batter is Lou Whitaker. Whitaker drew the first of the 2 walks thrown this afternoon by Roger Clemens. Brookins with a short lead off first.
There it is.
And the balk called. Yeah. First balk of the season called by third base umpire Durwood Merrill.
Roger got double teamed there. The second base umpire Tim Welke jumped him at the same time Merrill did. It's a continuation of the motion. No real set, no defined stop by Clemens. See, there's just no defined stop there, and that's what they want to prevent. Umpires are going to stay on top of it. It's almost as if they are all eagle-eyeing it to get that first one over with, to say, hey, boys, we're going to send you the message. We are going to enforce it, not only in spring training, but right on through and into the season.
First runner of the game in scoring position now for the Tigers. Brookins at second with 2 outs. Whitaker swings through the pitch for strike 1. No score. We're in the top of the 3rd. Just a light rain falling here at Fenway. Nothing significant. And that's fouled away for strike 2. So again, Roger Clemens is just 1 strike away from his 6th strikeout of the ball game. Up the middle and through into center field. A base hit for Whitaker. Brookins coming around to score. Anderson's throw up the line. Brookins scores. It's an RBI single for Lou Whitaker, and the Tigers lead 1-0.
I'd have to almost bet that Whitaker was guessing here, because he hits an awfully good breaking ball pitch. That ball is down, a bit out over the plate, and hit it hard right back through the box. So the ball costly to Clemens here. So was the base on balls, even more costly to put Brookins on in the first place. Good hard charge turned in by Anderson. Unloads the throw quickly. Up the line, though.
First hit of the game for the Tigers. And they score the first run of the game as well. The batter is Darrell Evans, who struck out his first time up, and he takes strike 1 here. Whitaker is back safely.
Sometimes the ball call can make a pitcher do different things. Now Roger probably thinking that I have to stop. That's a balk there. See what they're doing to him now. They're bothering him really mentally, because he's having to think about what I'm doing to pitch, and then I'm also losing my concentration along those lines to think about that I've got to stop. And it gets to be irritating. Anytime you make a pitcher do something that he's not accustomed to doing, you change his delivery. It bothers him not only physically, but mentally. Once again, there's the continued flow. There's no defined stop there. Get used to it, fans. You're going to see a lot of this, I'm afraid.
Well, we wondered at the outset if the umpires would call this balk as strictly as they did during spring training, and it appears as though they will. 1 balk already costly to Roger Clemens. No argument from the Red Sox dugout. You saw the shot of John McNamara and Bill Fisher. And the count is 0-1 to Evans. Whitaker now in scoring position with 2 outs. This should end the inning. It does, as Barrett throws out Evans. But the Tigers score a run on one hit. And at the end of 2.5, Detroit leads 1-0.
I'm going to get away. I'm going to go somewhere. Relax. Take it easy, you know?
Where do you want to go?
Bloomingdale's.
No matter where you want to go, just call us now for our new lower fares.
The game Monopoly is back at McDonald's.
And oh golly, this is the year to play.
People all over will win instantly from over $50 million worth of cash and prizes.
More than ever before.
Win shopping sprees, vacations, a Coca-Cola.
Ooh, tasty.
Or maybe one of 500 all-new Oldsmobile Cutlass Supremes.
Wow.
So do not pass go. Go directly to McDonald's.
Play Monopoly.
We're all going on an island holiday. Prince Edward Island is the place to be. Fun and laughter on our island holiday. We're bound for sun and sea. Sun and sand and sea.
Visit Nova Scotia's friendly island neighbor, Prince Edward Island, Canada.
A fun vacation by the sea. Just you and me.
We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
Back at Fenway Park, Roger Clemens, when he went to the dugout, explaining to the umpires that he is not balking, but Monty, it looked to us on those replays that those were in fact balks with the way they're interpreting the rules now. Might not have been last season, but they are now.
They're in, you don't even need a replay to see the second balk call, and the first one just about as obvious. I had been watching him very close, and up until that point, he had made sure that there was a stop on his part.
The Red Sox trail 1-0 as they come to bat here in the bottom of the third inning. Rich Gedman, Spike Owen, and Brady Anderson to face Jack Morris. The numbers reflecting the injury-plagued and contractually troubled season for Rich Gedman of a year ago. And the first pitch from Morris of the inning is low and inside, ball one. Gedman seemed to have put all of that behind him, Monty, in spring training. He was a steady performer throughout. Hit sharply, but right off the end of the bat to Brookins. And he retires. Gedman, 4-out number one.
The seventh, Mike Owen.
Spike Owen batting for the first time this season. He hit .259 last year. That average plagued by a couple of droughts. He had an 0-for-17 drought in July. 0-for-29 at one other point during the season. He hit just .143 over his first 12 games last year. Up the middle. Backhanded by Whitaker. The throw high, but Evans comes down with it. 4-out number two. And that's 4 in a row retired by Jack Morris.
Using that split-fingered fastball once again, getting a Red Sox hitter out in front. Gedman hitting it off the end of the bat. Owen right behind him. Just a routine play for Whitaker at second. Boy, he and Trammell know each other's every move.
Brady Anderson swings at the first pitch, rips it, backhanded by Whitaker. Throw is low, and Evans can't come up with it. The ball bounds into the camera area along the dugout. Keith showing great hustle. John McNamara quick to attend to him. He went diving after to prevent that from going into the dugout. And I don't know if he caught a piece of our camera or just hit his head on the ground as he went into the hole there. But Mike Heath shaken up, and Charlie Moss very quickly on the scene. Anderson at second base on the play as they attend to Mike Heath.
Get his helmet there for me, will you?
Looked like he got a piece of our camera as he went toward the dugout on the first base side, and Heath is cut and is going to leave the game, it would appear, as he trots off toward the Tiger dugout. Perhaps he's just going to get some attention in the dugout and come back in.
You catchers don't leave a game after something like that. They'll strap a little Band-Aid on there and rub a little dirt on it. He'll be back in about a minute or two.
Spoken like a true former.
He's all over the place. Boy, speed causes Whitaker to force this throw. Like he could have had a little more time than he anticipated. He couldn't get his balance to turn it loose, and when he does, he throws low. Anderson with that. Now here comes Heath into the picture, trying to prevent this ball from getting into the Red Sox dugout, and further base advancement. Grabs the camera, over it goes. McNamara and somebody standing at the end of that dugout grab Heath. Oil can Boyd. He's going to get the crowd mic, the Peck's mic.
He hit the mic hard down there.
John, that may have been the... Hard to tell what hit him. There goes the glove. Nice stop by Oil Can. Heath was headed for the clubhouse. Clubhouse steps are just behind Oil Can Boyd's back.
Have Harry Sinnen get a look at Oil Can Boyd with a save like that. They've scored at an error on Lou Whitaker. Brady Anderson in scoring position, representing the tying run with 2 outs here in the third, and Marty Barrett is the batter. He grounded to short his first time up. The Tigers lead 1-0. And Heath does indeed remain in the ball game. The light drizzle we had earlier seems to have subsided. The umbrellas have been put away down below. Well outside, ball 1. Wade Boggs waiting on deck. Barrett, the leading Red Sox hitter among the regulars in spring training. Jody Reed and Kevin Romine hit for a higher average. Time call. And the crowd getting on the umpires about the 2 balks called against Clemens in the top half of this inning. The 1-0 to Barrett. In there. Looked like the split finger again from Morris for strike 1. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error for Detroit. No runs, 2 hits. And no errors for Boston. 2 hits posted on the scoreboard. It's a hit and an error for Brady Anderson. He has his first major league hit, an infield single, then the error by Whitaker, allowing him to get to second base. Good pitch by Morris, and it's strike 2. Off the end of the bat, fouled back to the screen. Barrett hangs alive at a ball and 2 strikes.
Second time that Morris has had this situation in this ball game. A runner at second or third. Actually, it's been in second and the 2 outs. Last year, opponents against Morris hit .082 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. That's why he wins a lot of ball games. Doesn't give you that easy run. You really have to work for it.
The 1-2 fouled away again. Still a ball and 2 strikes.
Those stats kept by the Elias stat people, the news agent, they've been keeping those types of records for 13 years. That is the best mark by far of any pitcher to turn in. Hitters were like something like 8 for 98. However that figures out, it's 0.82.
The pitch to Barrett in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Brady Anderson, the runner at second. We're in the bottom of the third. The Red Sox trail 1-0. Some of the other action around Major League Baseball just now getting underway. St. Louis did not score in the top of the first inning at Cincinnati. The pitch from Morris. Slapped foul on the right field line. Milwaukee in the American League did not score in the top of the first inning at Baltimore. The Orioles coming to bat. Higuera and Boddicker, the starters in that ball game in Baltimore. The pitchers in the St. Louis-Cincinnati game, Joe McGrain for the Cardinals and Mario Soto for the Reds. Barrett showing in this at-bat why he has been one of the most difficult hitters in Major League Baseball to strike out over the last several seasons. And Morris wants to talk it over with Mike Keith. Marty Barrett struck out just 38 times last year in 559 at-bats. Again, the 2-2 from Morris. Bounced foul down the third base line. Marty Barrett has struck out only 146 times in his career in 2,256 at-bats. The pitch popped up. Lou Whitaker puts away out number 3. The Red Sox retired in the third, and at the end of 3, it's Detroit 1 and the Red Sox nothing.
Sometimes even Pat Riley's stomach can lose its cool. That's when he reaches for Rolaids. Nothing works better for acid indigestion, so Pat's free to let his emotions really show.
Not bad.
Relief. You know how to spell it.
It's out there again, waiting. Allergy season. But allergies don't have to be a big problem. Not with fast-acting Benadryl, the most prescribed allergy medication ever.
Hey, how you doing? Good. In fact, I feel like a light. Hey. What the? Uh-oh. Oh, I am so. Oh, no. Oh. Well, I meant Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light. Because everything else...
You all right? Sure, just a little lightheaded.
...is just a light.
Premiering tonight at 8 on TV 38, Geraldine Ferraro goes on the record with Alan Dershowitz, a nationally acclaimed libertarian. Dershowitz takes you into the heart and soul of Ferraro's political and personal achievements. News is made tonight at 8 on TV 38.
Be a part of exciting Red Sox baseball by taking in a game at Fenway Park. Season tickets, individual game tickets, and special group discounts are available. Find out why the fun has just begun. For more information, call the Red Sox ticket office at 267-1700 or group sales at 262-1915. Detroit leads 1-0, and the sky's brightening just a bit over Fenway Park. You wouldn't know it by that umbrella, but most of the rest of the patrons have put their umbrellas away, and the gray overhead is a bit more light. You could say that for Sparky Anderson over the years as well. Alan Trammell picked up in spring training where he left off at the end of last year. He popped to the second baseman, Marty Barrett, ending the first. The Tigers lead 1-0. And the first pitch of the fourth from Clemens. In for a strike. Matt Noakes and Pat Sheridan to follow here in the fourth. Just missed the outside corner. 1-1. Clemens struck out one Tiger in the first, struck out the side in the second, recorded one strikeout in the third. That's popped out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alan Trammell. Trammell 4 times an All-Star, including last season. Again, just outside, 2-2. Popped up and drifting toward the dugout and out of play. Gedman gave chase, as did Evans, but they ran out of room. That went about 4 rows back. Still 2-2 to Alan Trammell. We mentioned earlier Alan Trammell's career year last year when he hit .343. A lot of that damage came against the Red Sox. He hit .455 against Boston last season with 5 home runs and 55 at-bats. Again, fouled out of play to the right. Trammell, a career .288 hitter. That'll let you know just how high above his average was his batting average of last year at .343. His previous career batting average best had been .319. That was back in 1983. The 2-2. Broken bat and an easy play for Greenwell. 1 out in the fourth. The Tigers lead 1-0, and the batter is Matt Noakes. We mentioned Monty earlier. He's the designated hitter today. His catching skills still in need of work. Do they have somebody working with him? I saw Bill Freehan in spring training. I don't know if he stays
Bill
with the
Freehan
Tigers.
spends quite a bit of time with all the Tiger catchers up and throughout the organization. But, of course, a lot of his time is spent with young Matt Noakes. Matt Noakes was kind of a Sparky Anderson project last year. Sparky spent an awful lot of time helping the young man with calling games. It's a tough job when you're a rookie to come to the big leagues. I think tougher for a catcher than perhaps anyone else because you have so many different responsibilities. Obviously, if you're thinking of you as an offensive type player, then that's one thing. But you have to worry about handling a pitching staff. You have to worry about calling a ball game. And Sparky Anderson really worked a lot with Noakes.
Chop toward first. Evans will make the play himself for out number 2.
One thing that I'm sure helped Noakes quite a bit, the pitching staff you handle can help you and teach you to call ball games. With a Morrison around, with a Walt Terrell around, who is on the 15-day disabled list now and not of service to the Tigers, but will be shortly. You've got guys who come along like Doyle Alexander, Frank Tanana. They can help you call a ball game. Really, some of those names I put in there, you can't make a bad call for them.
No, indeed. Clemens looking at Pat Sheridan. Sheridan struck out his first time up, and he chops the first pitch off his leg for strike 1.
I don't know what the relationship is with Sparky Anderson and Gary Pettis, but I kind of think that this year Pettis may be Anderson's project to get him to get on base a little bit more, teach him how to maybe take a base on balls, teach him to use his speed by hitting the ball on the ground, making this infielders move to their right. That will prevent probably a lot of times throwing Pettis out. If he keeps the ball out of the air, then you've got a different story for as far as Pettis is concerned.
1-1 to Sheridan.
Not that he's given up on Noakes as a project, because I think he's going to stay on top of him. I've mentioned that I don't think Noakes is the quality catcher that would keep him in the lineup against left-handers, so left-hand pitching. So we don't know what he would do offensively against the left-handers. It gives Heath a chance to play in time off.
Roger took something off that and missed low. 2-1 to Sheridan. 2 outs. We're in the top of the fourth. Detroit leads 1-0. They scored a run last inning on a 1-out walk to Tom Brookins. He was balked to second and scored on a single to center by Lou Whitaker. Fastball missed away and a bit low as well, and it's 3-1.
I also add that Matt Noakes is an excellent student. He is so willing to learn.
Ball 4 is low from Clemens. That's the third walk thrown by Roger. He has struck out 5 and has allowed just the one hit, the RBI single by Whitaker last inning.
34.
Tigers have had one base runner on, at least one, in each of the first 4 innings except the second when Clemens struck out the side. The batter is Chet Lemon. He was the third and final strikeout victim in that second inning.
Good chance here to find out if Sparky Anderson is going to stay aggressive with his runners. Sheridan with 18 stolen bases last year. 2 outs here. He'll try to steal a run and get him in scoring position. Sheridan kind of built rather fleety anyway, standing at 6'3" and 175 pounds. Kind of that greyhound look.
Breaking ball outside from Clemens. Ball 1.
Remember here, too, Clemens still battling himself now, working from that stretch position to make sure he comes from a proper set. Sparky Anderson be the kind of a manager that would try to take advantage of that, too. He did it in 1975.
Popped foul and out of play. Straight back.
Louis Tiant had not had a balk call on him in 100 years, and all of a sudden you get to the World Series, and the first time Louis Tiant worked from a set position right here in this ballpark in 1975, Nick Colossi, who was a National League umpire, called a balk on Louis right away. And it was all started by Sparky Anderson 2 days before through the newspapers before they left Cincinnati to come here to start the series. So don't think he wouldn't use it against Clemens, because he would.
Most people will tell you that this newest balk controversy began in the World Series last year when Whitey Herzog kept complaining time and time again about Bert Blyleven. One time coming out with the rule book onto the field to explain to the umpires that Blyleven had to stop, and of course Whitey would be concerned with the base stealing team that he has. 1-1 to Lemon, fouled straight back again as he tried to check his swing, and it's 1-2. We're in the fourth. Detroit leads 1-0.
Well, it's an awfully good spot here now for Sparky Anderson to take a shot at either winding up with the runner in scoring position or getting Chet Lemon off the hook. With that 1-2 count, have him lead off the inning, even if Sheridan is thrown out.
Sheridan not going. It's slapped down the right field line. A fair ball into the corner. Sheridan heading toward third. He's being waved home. The relay from Evans, not in time. And into third base goes Chet Lemon. The Tigers lead 2-0.
Sheridan with great speed. And once again, Clemens is getting hurt here when he's up in the count. 0-2, he's gotten hurt twice. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. He allows Lemon a pitch up in the strike zone that he could just drive to right field. Greenwell played that ball exactly as he had to. He misses the first cutoff man. If Barrett takes that throw on the cutoff, you possibly have a shot at Sheridan. As it turns out, you have nothing once that ball takes the extra time to get to Evans, and then Evans turning and getting it to the plate. The ISO on Sheridan, picking him up and putting him down.
It's an RBI double for Chet Lemon. He takes third base on the throw to the plate, and the Tigers lead 2-0. They have but the 2 hits. Both of them RBI hits. The RBI single by Whitaker in the third, and now the RBI double by Chet Lemon, scoring Pat Sheridan here in the fourth. Mike Heath, the batter. The count 0-1 to him. He struck out his first time up. He was the last man Clemens struck out. He's now gone through the order without a strikeout after striking out 5 of the first 8 men he faced. It's 0-2 now to Heath. Just outside. 1-2. 2-2. Tried to check his swing. He did check his swing. On the appeal, Terry Cooney said it was not a swing, and the count is full, 3-2. With 2 outs and Lemon at third. We're in the fourth. A run already across for the Tigers, and they lead 2-0. That appeared to be a lot closer to a swing than the last time they appealed on Brookins.
Still held it up in time. The head of the bat still well back. Clemens tried to take it. He'll start walking off the mound as if he thought it was a swing. Didn't work for it.
The 3-2 pitch. He threw the bat at it. A lazy fly to right. Greenwell puts it away for out number 3. Well, the Tigers score again on just 1 hit, and at the end of 3.5, it's Detroit 2 and Boston nothing.
At the New England, we believe the best relationships are the ones that grow stronger and stronger as the years go by. When you form a relationship with one of our representatives, you do it knowing the New England will be there for you from one year to the next. With life insurance, investment products, financial planning, employee benefits, tools that help build and shape your financial future. If you feel at home with a company that's schooled in the value of long-term relationships, make the New England your financial partner. Your financial partner, your financial future. The New England.
You're working on your American dream, 'cause you want it to last forever. And if something is starting to show the years, you want to make it better.
Give your home new Anderson windows, because when it comes to your home, nothing but the best will do.
Come home to quality. Come home to Anderson.
Somerville Lumber, Pelham Plate Glass and Lumber, J.B. Sanchin Door Company, Cashels Components Corporation.
Red Sox baseball action on the TV 38 Red Sox network continues Friday night at 8:30 when the Red Sox play their first road game of the season in Arlington against the Texas Rangers. And we'll be with you as well Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock for the final game of that 3-game series between the Red Sox and Rangers over most of these stations, so check your local listings. Jack Morris breezing through the first 3 innings this afternoon here at Fenway Park. Those are the numbers of which we spoke earlier. Jack Morris far and away the winningest pitcher in Major League Baseball in the 1980s. Still searching for Cy Young Award, however. Roger Clemens has had the lock on that the past couple of years. Wade Boggs to lead it off against Morris here in the fourth, with the Red Sox trailing 2-0. Red Sox have managed just 2 hits. Boggs had the first, a double off the wall with 2 outs in the first inning. Outside, ball 1. Rice and Greenwell to follow here in the fourth. One and one as Morris changed speeds. Two and one. Monty, is there any good way to pitch to Wade Boggs? He seems to be so proficient at hitting the ball just about any place it's pitched.
Yeah,
how do you try to do it?
Get him when it counts 2-0, 3-1. Don't get him 0-2 or 1-2. There's no way to pitch a hitter like Boggs consistently. He is so disciplined. You try to be very exact with him. You wind up making mistakes, or somewhat playing into his hands. He has such command of the strike zone. He knows exactly what he can do with each pitcher he faces.
3-1 to him. Hit sharply toward the gap in left center field. That ball is on one hop off the wall. Retrieved by Pettis. His throw not in time. 2 doubles this afternoon for Wade Boggs, and he's in scoring position with nobody out in the fourth.
Looked as if Tiger left fielder Sheridan got a little confused about whether he could handle this ball or not. His effort is going to be that he's going to come down the line and play off the Karen. That ball's not going to hit that far from him if he drops back and goes the other way. Ball was stung pretty well by Boggs and certainly well placed. Hey, Boggs can do that anytime he wants to, I feel. He can either take it and hit it off the wall or find the gap for it in that outfield.
The crowd with something to cheer about finally. Jim Rice, the batter, he struck out his first time up, and he takes ball 1, a breaking ball outside from Morris. Popped up behind home plate. Keith makes the catch. And already Jim Rice hears the boos from the Fenway faithful. We talked during our spring training telecast, Monty, that it's going to be essential this season for the Red Sox for somebody to hit behind Wade Boggs. Jim Rice did not do it last year, and twice he's come up in this ball game with Boggs in scoring position and failed to advance the runner at all. Mike Greenwell walked his first time up, then was thrown out trying to steal. Ball 1 is low. Boggs at second. Morris working from the stretch. The 1-0 to Greenwell. In there for a called strike.
Morris whittling away at the inside part. Looked like maybe Heath was doing that on purpose. Sometimes you'll get a catcher who'll want to move a little bit to set you up inside.
Again, the off speed. The changeup for Morris, 2-1.
It took a while for Mike Greenwell last year to stay off or stay away from a lot of breaking balls that were working down and in on him. He tried to handle it. Finally, they stopped throwing it to him for some reason.
3-1. Morris following behind the Red Sox hitters in this inning. Went to 3-1 with Boggs before Wade doubled up the gap in left center field.
That pitch that Morris just threw to Greenwell would consistently get Greenwell out last year. Now, he's made some adjustment to that. He did it at the end of the year.
3-1 pitch. Hit sharply past Tommy into left center field. Boggs will be held at third by Joe Morgan. Greenwell goes back into first. Boggs got a slow start off second base because he had to wait to see if Trammell would field it. He thought about sending Boggs around, then Morgan held him up at the last minute, and it's runners at the corners with 1 out.
That's great base running on Boggs' part. He knows that Trammell is right behind him. Ordinarily, he can go with that ball hit to his left. Boggs makes a great play there. As it turns out, it looks bad, and you're going to draw a lot of boos. But that ball there is so very catchable by a shortstop in a normal position. Had that ball not been working away from Trammell, Trammell was going to handle it anyway.
The crowd's booing, but I thought it was a good decision by Joe
Absolutely.
Morgan. Sheridan, as you saw in the replay, had the ball in his glove and was ready to throw, while Boggs was still several steps shy of the third base bag. Dwight Evans, the batter in a big situation here in the ball game. Runners at the corners, 1 out. We're in the fourth, and the Tigers lead 2-0. Evans struck out his first time up. Back to the warning track. Pettis is off the wall. In the score is Boggs. Greenwell held at third. He ran through the stop sign and now scampers back into third base. And the crowd again laying it on Joe Morgan. It's a run across for the Red Sox, and they have runners at second and third with still 1 out.
I think these fans are caught up here with scoring 5 runs on 1 base hit. It won't happen. He makes a great play by stopping Boggs at third. He has to. You want one of your best hitters in your lineup to hit with a guy at third and less than 2 outs, and that's what you get. That ball rounded hard off that wall in center field. Greenwell all but runs through the stop sign. He is a dead duck if he doesn't get stopped and turn around. Even though the ball is up the line and not handled by Heath right away, Greenwell was going to be out unless that ball does exactly what it is. You can't take that for as a third base coach to say the ball is going to be mishandled. Nothing wrong with that.
The tying and go-ahead runs in scoring position with 1 out here in the 4th for Sam Horn, who grounded to second his first time up. Tiger infield is back. The pitch to Horn. Big swing and a foul on a play. Third base side. It's a double for Evans. And the Red Sox now up to 5 hits. The Tigers have just 2. But it's a 2-1 Detroit lead. Horn is going back for another bat. He cracked that one on that first swing. Tommy McLaughlin, the bat boy, handing a new piece of lumber over to Sam Horn. It's important, I think, Monty, for Sam Horn to produce here in this first week of the season, because if he does not, once Ellis Burks comes back, he could well be the man out of a job. It's likely that Burks would play center, Anderson in right, Greenwell in left, and Rice DHing the vast majority of the time. The 0-1 to Horn. Ripped to the right side. Pass to the right field. Greenwell has scored. Evans will score. And the Red Sox take a 3-2 lead. A 2-run single by Sam Horn.
Well, you may have called it a little bit of a conservative type baseball if you want to. I don't think it is. But what you've done here, if it is conservative type baseball, you've taken yourself possibly out of an inning by getting a guy thrown out at the plate. You've turned it into a big one. You've thrown up 3 runs on Jack Morris. You're not going to do that very often in 1 inning in a ball game any time of the year. This inning's still alive yet. We've got some hitters that he has to battle with.
Rich Gedman takes a ball, and especially with 1 out, Monty, or no outs, no reason for Joe Morgan to take chances with those base runners. Gedman grounded out his first time up. The Red Sox lead 3-2. They've now out-hit the Tigers 6-2, and it's a strike to Rich Gedman. Spike Owen waiting on deck.
You're seeing a quick change in the ball game. You look at Morris and you say, well, if I don't get back in this ball game by the time I get to the 5th inning, at least get a run or 2, get close to him.
Change up, strike 2.
He's the type of pitcher that if you give him a 2-run lead by the time you get to the 6th inning, you can just about pack the bats up. On the other hand, if you turn it around and you get Clemens that kind of a lead on the same breath, the Tigers may well can do the same thing.
4 hits in the inning for Boston. Strike 3 to Gedman. Gedman down swinging. Strikeout number 4 for Jack Morris. So now 2 outs.
That split-fingered fastball, once again, a strong pitch in Morris's arsenal. Boy, it's really ducking and diving there. Good play by Heath. Keep that ball blocked up nice in front of him. Toughest ball of all for catchers to stop is the one that's thrown directly in the middle. So hard to protect that area that's left open by the split in the legs when you go down to block it.
Spike Owen is 0 for 1. That one nearly hit him. Had to hurry to get out of the way. And it's ball 1.
Got a fancy footwork there by Owen.
Down the right field line. Long run for Lemon, but he's there, and he makes the catch. But the Red Sox score 3 runs in the 4th inning. They got to Jack Morris for 4 hits, and at the end of 4, Boston leads 3-2.
New England in the 21st century.
Hello, John.
Hi, John.
One of the members of the sellout crowd here this afternoon at Fenway Park, Susumu Tanagawa from MIT, a Nobel Prize winner in biology and the guest of TV 38 in our box this afternoon. He was on Meg Lavinia's Newsmakers program recently and said he was a great Red Sox fan. However, he did say they need better pitching this year in order to win the pennant. So I think he's right on the money with that prognostication. Knows biology and baseball as well. Tom Brookins leads off the Tiger fifth. The Red Sox lead 3-2, and Roger Clemens' first pitch was outside for a ball. Brookins scored the first run of the ball game in the third. He walked with one out, was balked to second base, and scored on an RBI single up the middle by Lou Whitaker. 2-0 now to Brookins.
Quickly, one of the strongest things that can happen for Roger Clemens and the Red Sox right here is to retire the Tigers in order with little or no problem. Right away, you take a little more wind out of their sails as opposed to letting them get right back in the game against you.
Brookins took all the way, and it is a strike.
Rogers' control needs to get just a little sharper for him. And when I say just a little sharper, he's only missed a couple of pitches that have caused him some base on balls by an inch or less. Just being off the outside corner, not so much the up and down strike. With Clemens, it's the in and out strike and mostly the out pitch from the right-hander.
2-2 to Brookins. Slapped into right field, a base hit. We've seen Roger Clemens struggle a lot this afternoon already when he has had 2 strikes on the opposing hitters. He got to 0-2 the first time Brookins was up and then walked him. Third hit for Detroit. And the first time in the ball game, the Tigers have had the lead man aboard. Gary Pettis, the batter, he's 0 for 2 and has gone first ball swinging in each of his first 2 at-bats. That's the problem for Pettis. He strikes out a lot, and as such, he is unable to utilize his speed.
Red Sox infield definitely looking for the sacrifice here. Clemens taking that throw over to first to see if perhaps Pettis would give them something away. He made no move at all at the box.
He bunts. Back to the mound. Clemens has a play at second. Goes there to Owen in time to force Brookins. The play goes 1-6. An unsuccessful sacrifice attempt by Pettis. He's at first on the fielder's choice with 1 out.
Well, when you're having some problems up there, you better be able to be a pretty good bunter. And Pettis takes the ball and tries to pull it down the line with him. And when he does, he bunts it way too hard and directly back at Clemens. Spike Owen once again displaying some fancy footwork, this time in the field. Make that high sailing throw from Clemens, but still hold contact with that bag. And Pettis not able to do what he should be able to do and bunt the ball and run the runner over.
Pettis very definitely a base stealing threat at first. The batter is Lou Whitaker. He's 1 for 1.
His lack of being on base as far as Pettis is concerned holds his stolen bases down. At 24 last year for the Angels. But when you strike out 124 times a year, obviously you're not walking very much. You hit just 208, you're not going to have an opportunity to steal an awful lot of bases.
Ball 1 to Whitaker, who walked in the first and singled in the first Tiger run in the third.
Just as we talk about Barrett so often hitting behind either a Burks or an Anderson with a lot of speed, don't think for a second that Whitaker would like to have the advantage of that taking place in Tiger Stadium.
Pitch out, nothing going. Ball 2.
You get Pettis where he can get on a reasonable amount of times. You are going to have to give Whitaker far more fastballs than you normally would. And when you do that, he can turn on your fastball. He can reach that overhang in Tiger Stadium with no problem whatsoever. As a matter of fact, he can take out some seat backs way up in that upper deck.
Pettis is going. The pitch a strike. The throw a strike. And he is out. Rich Gedman put it right on the money, and Pettis retired 2-6.
Clemens such a factor in helping catches because of the velocity. You get some swings and misses, or you get some just straight out takes. Pettis not particularly a great jump there, but the speed trying to make up. Well, he takes a look right there. That probably slowed him down a half a step. Give all the credit to Gedman.
Looked at the end like he thought he was going to get hit by the ball. He almost threw his arms up in front of himself.
Or the glove. The glove had a chance of getting him in the face.
The count now 3-1 to Whitaker. 2 outs and the bases empty in the Tiger fifth. The Red Sox lead 3-2. And that's ball 4. 4 walks thrown by Roger Clemens. He got up to a fast start as far as the strikeouts were concerned, but he's not recorded a strikeout since he struck out Heath leading off the 3rd inning. Darrell Evans, the batter. He's 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the 1st and grounded to 3rd base, or rather the 2nd base, in the 3rd. 34 of those home runs came last season for Darrell Evans. Couldn't catch up to that fastball. Strike 1. Evans is one of just 2 players to hit 100 home runs or more with 3 different teams. He's hit 119 for the Tigers, hit 120 with Atlanta, and 142 for San Francisco. The other, no surprise, Reggie Jackson. A balk called. 3rd balk of the afternoon called against Roger Clemens. And I would think it might be a good idea, Monty, on one of these balks, for John McNamara to come out at least to calm Roger Clemens down, because he was visibly upset last time, and he is here as well.
Well, there's no point in arguing whether it's a balk or not, because it's definitely a balk. It doesn't do you any good. Maybe it'll calm him down. I don't know, but Roger has to be sensing now of what he is going to have to do to prevent this. You're going to have to stop. They're going to make you stop. It's just tough to remember all those things that you're not accustomed to.
Light drizzle again falling at Fenway as Evans looks at strike 2. It's 0-2 to Darrell Evans. Alan Trammell on deck. Whitaker now at second. Whitaker represents the tying run. Evans strikes out. Second time he's gone down, and the 6th strikeout for Roger Clemens. Halfway through the ball game, the Red Sox lead Detroit 3-2.
Cops make less money than garbage men? We're just like a step above them socially. You know, my uncle's a garbage man. He has a 3-bedroom house in Montclair. Do you know that? I didn't know you had an uncle in Montclair. Yeah, on my mother's side, but we don't see him too much. Why not? Because he's a garbage man. Cops don't associate with garbage men. You know that.
Not all trash comes in bags. Just ask the captains get to clean up the streets. Beginning Tuesday, April 12th on TV 38.
You want anything?
How about a light?
Oh, Bob, could you make that a Bud Light?
If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Did you see? No.
Did you? No. Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Signs of spring are popping up everywhere in the movie loft with a shower of stars in April. Let the stars rain down on you this April on the Movie Loft on TV 38.
Let's pause now for station identification. This is the TV 38 Red Sox Network.
This is TV 38, WSBK TV, Boston.
There are 3 other games underway on opening day around Major League Baseball in the American League. Baltimore hosting Milwaukee, no score. The Orioles at bat in the bottom of the 3rd. Ted Higuera and Mike Boddick are the pitchers. Kansas City leads Toronto 2-0 in the top of the 2nd. George Brett hit a 2-run homer in that ball game. Key and Saberhagen the starters in that one. And in the National League, St. Louis leads Cincinnati 1-0. McGrain against Soto. Brady Anderson leads off the Red Sox 5th and takes a strike from Jack Morris. Brady struck out leading off the ball game for Boston. Reached on an infield single in the 3rd and moved to 2nd on a throwing error by Lou Whitaker. Changeup had Brady badly fooled. He just barely got the bat on it for strike two. The Red Sox lead 3-2. They've out-hit the Tigers 6-3. Inside and low. Jack Morris has struck out 4. He has walked but 1. His 1-2 to Anderson. Hit sharply toward right field, sinking fast and falling in front of Lennon for a base hit. Brady Anderson 2 for 3 in his major league debut. And the Red Sox have the lead man aboard for the third time in the ball game.
And with some speed they have on those bases, too. Once again, now with the Red Sox leading 3-2, they could be a little bit aggressive, especially with Anderson. Once again, this young man, he just seems to be, he's just not in awe of anything. There he bounced right back in there once again with those 2 hits.
This is not the first time Brady Anderson has been in Fenway Park. He drove up last year while he was playing for Pawtucket. They're going to throw that ball into the dugout for Brady.
Yeah, but that's not his first hit, according to
I don't know if he is aware that he was credited with a hit on that first at bat when Whitaker threw the ball into the dugout. Anderson was here last year with a good friend of his from home in California, Troy Mills, and they watched the ball game at the end of last season here at Fenway. Brady's parents are in from California for the game today. Marty Barrett, the batter. Go to first. Anderson back in head first. The crowd groaning for a balk. Roger Clemens has been called for a balk 3 times this afternoon. Roger committed 3 balks all of last season. Again, Anderson back in head first. Brady stole 4 bases in spring training. That led the Red Sox. And we saw an awful lot of hit and run with Marty Barrett and Brady Anderson in the Grapefruit League. Barrett waiting patiently for the first pitch to him. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Red Sox lead 3-2. The Red Sox scored all of their runs last inning on 4 hits. That one got him. They pick Anderson off.
Morris timed it perfectly. He's going to catch Anderson taking 1 little inch onto the lead, and when he does, Anderson will slip as he starts back. Trying to get that little extra, and it cost him.
So the base is empty now with 1 out. And the first pitch finally to Barrett on the outside corner for a strike.
Here's the 1 step. He's just going to move forward and slip.
Little dribbler in front of the plate. Morris barehands it and throws Barrett out.
Marty, just a piece of this split-fingered fastball, almost off the flat end of the bat. Heath had kind of backed off of it. I don't think he saw the pitch or saw where Marty had hit it. Morris pretty much has had this inning all his way, picking off Anderson and now making a pretty good play to throw out Barrett.
And Wade Boggs working on his on-base percentage this season as well. He's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles to the opposite field. And that's strike 1. Wade scored the first Red Sox run last inning. Three runs, 7 hits, no errors for Boston. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Detroit. The 0-1 to Boggs on the inside corner, strike 2.
Well, it's where Boggs shines. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No ball in this case, 2 strikes.
Strike 3. He's out on 3 pitches. Caught looking at the fastball from Morris. That's strikeout number 5 for the Tiger right-hander. At the end of 5, Boston 3, Detroit 2.
Remember the heroes of yesterday? Remember the chill you felt when you saw them swing the bat or deliver the pitch? Well, they're older now, but the passing years haven't changed the sweet swings or the daring deliveries of their youth. Now you can relive those memories at the annual Equitable Old Timers game, benefiting former big league players in need. Come out and see yesterday's heroes at your local Major League ballpark.
The Equitable Old Timers game at Fenway Park, May 14th at 1:05 p.m., followed by the Red Sox and Seattle Mariners. For tickets, call 617-267-1700.
Hi, I'm John Marzano of the Boston Red Sox, here to tell you about an exciting event you won't want to miss. On Saturday, May 21st, the Red Sox and Gatorade will be giving away a replica of the Red Sox batting helmet. The first 15,000 kids ages 15 and younger will receive one when they enter Fenway Park. Look like a big leaguer in this great-looking helmet. It's yours, compliments of Gatorade. Remember that Saturday, May 21st, when we play the California Angels. See exciting baseball action and get your Red Sox replica batting helmet.
2 of the American League's top 5 strikeout artists from a year ago going head-to-head this afternoon here at Fenway Park. Jack Morris has struck out 5 this afternoon through 5 innings. Roger Clemens has recorded 6 strikeouts. 5 of those coming in the first 2 1/3 innings. And his 6th strikeout came to the last batter he faced, Darrell Evans, ending the 5th. We go to the 6th. The Red Sox lead 3-2. And it'll be the middle third of the Tiger order to face Clemens, Alan Trammell, Matt Noakes, and Pat Sheridan. Trammell takes a strike. He's 0 for 2, has popped to second and flied to right. That's a ball. Trammell's 5-hit game last year was against the California Angels. That was on July 11th. He's had a 5-hit game 4 times in his career. Greenwell. 1 away. And Trammell 0 for 3. We mentioned yesterday during our telecast, Monty, from spring training, the Red Sox 2-11 last year against the Tigers. And then you combine that with the fact that Trammell hit .455 against them last year. That might be a key to beating the Tigers this year. If you can keep Alan Trammell off the board as they have today, they're ahead 3-2. Matt Noakes is 0 for 2. Wouldn't hurt you to keep him off the board as well. He has struck out and grounded out. Rips that one deep to right field. To the bullpen goes Greenwell. That one is gone over the bullpen. A home run for Matt Noakes, his first of the season, and the Tigers have tied the game at 3. It's a good idea to keep him off the board, but Roger Clemens could not as Noakes goes deep.
That little 32-inch bat really gets the job done for Matt Noakes. As a matter of fact, this is his first home run of the year. He did not have a home run during the spring games. And Florida, boy, he had a pitch to hit, and he didn't miss it.
Batter Pat Sheridan, the pitch a strike. Sheridan has struck out and walked. He scored a run after walking in the 4th. Scored on a triple by Chet Lemon. If you're scoring, by the way, they've changed the scoring on that Lemon play. It is a triple, not a double, and taking third on the throw. Quickly 0-2 to Sheridan. Outside, 1-2. Roger Clemens, 25 years old. His 1-2 pitch just missed. Clemens held it there for Joe Brinkman, but did not get the call. Gedman rather held it there, and it's 2-2. Out of play. Down the left field line, another souvenir. Again, the 2-2 from Clemens. Strike 3. He fooled Sheridan with the breaking ball up in the strike zone. Second time Sheridan has gone down swinging, and strikeout number 7 for Clemens.
Not a very good pitch here by Clemens standards at all, but gets away with the mistake. Split-fingered fastball sailing up and away from Sheridan. He goes chasing. Here's the home run pitch to Matt Noakes. Just about belt buckle high and out over that plate. Way up into on top of the umbrellas.
And that's about the only thing raining down on top of those umbrellas right now, as the mist has all but stopped. Chet Lemon takes a strike. He has struck out, and he has tripled down the right field line. That scored Sheridan with 2 outs in the 4th. Look out. Our first test on the foul up the screen. Hannah Beal bravely dove in front of me, our stage manager here in the booth. Oh, and 2 to Lemon. Crowd not hanging on these 0-2 pitches as they were earlier in the ball game. If you're just tuning in, Clemens at one point struck out 4 in a row. He struck out the side in the second, and the first man he faced, Mike Heath, in the third. A little high. That has been a strike at other times during the ball game. It's 2-2. And Joe Brinkman, we saw him a lot behind the plate in spring training. My feeling watching him work the plate is that he's a bit erratic with the strike zone, and I think we've seen that today. Check swing. They don't even bother to appeal, and it's 3-2. Little looper into left center field. Rice coming on. He can't get there. Lemon thinking about 2, puts the brakes on, and goes back into first base. A 2-out single for Chet Lemon, and the crowd applauds the effort of Jim Rice.
Rice not running in an all-out effort here. Seems to have a little bit of a hitch in the get-along. He does put a good effort on at the end of it to try to make the catch. There's the little noticeable limp by Rice being turned in. He does keep that ball where it stays underneath him or near him to prevent Lemon from turning the single into the double.
You're right. Did not look smooth at all there at the end. As we told you yesterday, John McNamara told Jim Rice yesterday before the final spring training game that he more or less is going to be the DH this year, that Mike Greenwell is going to see the majority of the time in left field once Ellis Burks comes back and Brady Anderson moves from center to right. Mike Heath is 0 for 2. Heath at .305 against the Red Sox last year. He swung there. Yes, indeed, says Terry Cooney. And a mock cheer goes up for the first base umpire. That's the 3rd appeal for the Red Sox, and the first time it's been ruled a strike.
Heath knows all the tricks. As a hitter, he'll try to spin and fall out. He said, oh, no, I didn't swing. I went around falling.
0-2 to Heath. Clemens looking for his 8th strikeout. It's fouled away. 3-3 is the score. We're in the top of the 6th inning. The Tigers with a run across in this inning on the first home run of the season by Matt Noakes. Lemon held on by Evans. Well outside. Good play by Gedman. 1-2.
I was a bit surprised, Monty, during spring training looking up Chet Lemon's numbers. I always thought he was a better base runner than he actually has been. Did not steal a base last year, had 2 the year before, didn't have any.
Well, he's got
3 years
bad
ago.
legs now. He has had good stolen base years, but he had a leg injury about 3 years ago that prevented him from even attempting stolen bases. Of course, he's well along into his 30s now, too. You have a tendency to drop down a notch or 2.
Strike 3. Strikeout number 8 for Roger Clemens. And the Tigers out in the 6th. But they scored a run on the home run by Matt Noakes. And at the end of 5.5 innings, we're tied at 3.
Well, you're the kind of man that likes to do things your own way. And you can bet it's right when you get through. Ooh, there's a beer that always fits right in your hand. 'Cause you're a bud man, and this bud's for you. Oh, you do. This bud's for you.
Last season, Cooper bats were a very big hit in the major leagues.
Tony Fernandez digs in. A swing and a drive. He's hit it hard to right field.
This year, Cooper gloves are a great catch in the majors, in Cooper styles and Cooper models. Now, Canada's best-selling gloves are making a name in the majors, and what Cooper did at the plate, they'll do in the field.
To left field. Here comes Raines coming hard. He dives. What a catch. A sensational catch by Raines.
It's a television breakthrough with The Street, premiering next Tuesday night at 11:30. The Street takes television in a totally new direction. Street is the place to be next Tuesday night on TV 38.
We invite you to order the Red Sox yearbook. As always, it's a colorful magazine section. The official Red Sox yearbook now available. Profiles and stats of all the Red Sox are included with full color photos. Other features, a photo tribute to Roger Clemens, Wade Boggs, and team MVP from a year ago, Dwight Evans. To order, send $6 to the address on your screen. Yearbook, Box 1616, Boston 02130. Jack Morris set to pitch here in the 6th inning. In a 3-3 ball game, the Red Sox have out hit the Tigers 7-5. Detroit has committed the game's only error.
Clemens coming up with his 8th strikeout of this ball game. The fastball breezes that inside corner. One of the few calls that I'm sure Roger has felt that's gone his way this afternoon.
Jim Rice leads it off, hoping that he can repeat last year's heroic performance. He's 0 for 2 thus far. Has struck out and fouled out to the catcher Mike Heath. Greenwell and Evans to follow in the 6th in a 3-3 game. That's called a strike by Joe Brinkman. Ball 1.
You probably count the number of times total that Clemens or Morris have been directly in the middle of that plate this afternoon. They have worn out the edges, especially Morris.
Rice hit just .212 against Detroit last year, and he fouled that one off again. That appeared to get Brinkman. Second time the home plate umpire has been struck with foul balls today. Rice 7 for 33 against the Tigers in 1987. Morris looking for his 6th strikeout. And that one well short of the plate. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the lead man Rice here in the 6th in a 3-3 game.
I know a lot of people are wondering, and I can't give you the exact details, and I've been trying to run them through my mind here. The wrap on the right hand of plate umpire Joe Brinkman. A couple of broken fingers on that right side. I'll tell you in a moment why.
Strike 3. Second time Rice has gone down swinging. He's 0 for 3, and again he hears the boos from the crowd. It's strikeout number 6 for Jack Morris.
Rice been made to look very bad this afternoon with some off-speed pitches from Morris. Once again, it's the kind of a off-speed, split-fingered fastball. It really has the hard turn on it. That left shoulder, notice the left shoulder, Rice, how far it's thrown out of the swing. That pulls the head out. Not only does it get you out in front, it just prevents you from seeing the ball altogether.
Greenwell has walked, and he has singled and scored 1 for 1, and he's ahead on the count now. 2 balls and no strikes.
Just prior to the start of spring training, Joe Brinkman was involved in a very bad boating accident involving him and I think his brother and maybe a couple of friends. And the exact details of that, I don't know. That's all I know about it. I think they were off the coast of Florida, the east coast of Florida. They were off of and were either rammed by another boat. I should just say that I know that the thing is on there from a boating accident. Let me leave it at that.
Hit sharply, fair ball into right field, and Greenwell is 2 for 2. Hit number 8 for the Red Sox.
Well, the people that are hitting the baseball or that you expect to hit the baseball have really been turning them in this afternoon for the Red Sox. Greenwell now checks in with his second base hit there.
Greenwell at first with 1 out in the 6th, the 3-3 game, and Dwight Evans is the batter. He hit .305 last year. His previous single season best, .296. That was back in 1981. He also had a career high in home runs last year with 34. His previous high 32. And his 123 RBI, 19 more than his previous best, 104 in 1984. Ball 1 is the count to him. Evans now 36 years old. Sparky Anderson needs just 9 more wins to move into 10th place on the all-time win list for Major League managers. He has 1,611. Ralph Houck is in 10th place, former Tiger and Red Sox manager, with 1,619. Pitch is in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-0 to Evans.
I don't wonder what Sparky's doing there if you are flashing some signs out to Heath, maybe when he wants a pitch out, maybe calling some pitches. For a couple of years, Roger Craig, when a pitching coach for Sparky Anderson, called every pitch from that dugout when Lance Parrish was behind the plate. I don't think that's the case with Heath.
Hit well to the gap in right center field. Pettis with speed makes the catch just in front of the wall. And back to first base goes Greenwell. That's out number 2 here in the 6th, but hit a long way to the opposite field by Dwight Evans.
Ball really charged up pretty well by Dwight, but with the speed of Pettis, he just is kind of coasting by the time he gets there. All that speed utilized to get him started, get him over in position to make the catch.
Sam Horn, the hitter, he's one of the offensive heroes of the game thus far. The Red Sox scored all 3 of their runs in the 4th, and the 2nd and 3rd runs were driven in on a single through the hole on the right side by Horn. Sam grounded out his first time up and looks at ball 1 again in the dirt from Jack Morris. Horn, a long look there at Joe Morgan, the Red Sox third base coach. 2 outs. Greenwell at first. 3-3 the score. We're in the 6th inning. Ball 2.
It's hard to know how much scouting the Tigers have been able to do on Sam Horn. Obviously, we saw quite a bit of off-speed pitches thrown his way during spring games. But Horn's power is to straightaway center and to left center. He could really take advantage of that with the breeze that's here today. Kind of a light breeze now, but more toward the wall or to straightaway center field than anything else. So I would think that they would be trying to keep the ball pretty well in on Horn, if not off speed.
Fouled away to the left side by Horn. 2 balls and 1 strike. Greenwell just a short lead off first. Ball 3. Rich Gedman is on deck. Morris taking his time to knock some of the mud out from between his spikes. If you're just tuning in, the Tigers took the lead in the 3rd inning. They scored a run. A 1-out walk to Tom Brookins. He was balked to second base by Roger Clemens, one of 3 balks by Clemens today, and he scored on a single to center by Lou Whitaker. The Tigers made it 2-0 as we look at Frank Tanana and Jim Morrison. Tanana on the left of the screen, Morrison on the right. A couple of Tiger veterans looking on from the dugout. In the 4th, it was a 2-out walk to Sheridan and then a triple by Lemon that got the second Tiger run across. Their 3rd run was scored in the 6th on a home run by Matt Noakes after the Red Sox had taken a lead 3-2 with 3 runs in their half of the 4th. Horn, a big rip at that 3-1 pitch. He missed it, and it's strike 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and with 2 outs, Greenwell will be on his way from first base. What do you think Morris will come with here, Monty?
Split-fingered fastball.
Hit high in the air, but not deep enough to left. Sheridan on the warning track makes the catch. A couple of loud outs in that inning for the Red Sox, but nothing across. And at the end of 6, it's Detroit 3 and the Red Sox 3.
It's here today, and it means the dawn of a new day for everyone on Earth who thirsts for something better. Announcing new Diet Pepsi with more real cola taste. A taste so delicious it's like no other taste in the world. Diet Pepsi and new caffeine-free Diet Pepsi, both with 100% NutraSweet. The taste that's generations ahead.
Look in this week's newspaper and save 50 cents on the great new taste of Diet Pepsi.
New Englanders will stop at nothing to get a great deal. That's why so many of them stop first at their New England Ford dealers.
Now at your New England Ford dealer, there's a great deal for you on America's design leader, the front-wheel drive Ford Taurus. Get a $750 cash bonus and save $500 on a special option package. Savings in all of over $1,200.
So when you want the best deal, go where New Englanders go first, to your New England Ford dealer.
Monday, April 4th on TV 38.
Let's take the issue of affairs extramarital. What are the rules now for the press?
Meet Boston's own nationally acclaimed libertarian, Alan Dershowitz.
I'm not trying to be rude. I just believe that asking tough questions is the best way of getting at the truth.
Monday, April 4th, Geraldine Ferraro meets Alan Dershowitz.
Would you have reported on Gary Hart?
I probably would not have.
On the Record with Alan Dershowitz. Monday at 8 on TV 38.
In this year's charity game benefiting the Jimmy Fund here in Boston, take place at Fenway Park. The Cincinnati Reds will be visiting here. That's on Thursday, May the 19th, game time at 7:30. Might be a good idea for you to jot down those phone numbers right there. The tickets go on sale here at the Fenway ticket office on April the 17th. That's Thursday, May the 19th, the Cincinnati Reds and the Red Sox here at Fenway.
I always enjoy that game. The last couple of years it's been against the New York Mets, a chance to see a team from the other league, and of course, and most importantly, a great cause aided as well, the Jimmy Fund. Tom Brookins to lead off the 7th in a 3-3 game. Brookins with a career high in home runs last year because he got a chance to play a bit more than he had in the past, and he takes ball 1. Brookins last season got into 143 games as opposed to just 98 in 1986. He's walked and singled. Perfect 1-for-1 with a run scored after that walk in the 3rd, and the count now level to him, 1 ball and 1 strike. like Morris in the last half inning. Clemens having a bit of trouble with mud in his spikes. Popped foul, straight back.
I think a lot of work once again by Joe Mooney and his ground crew to have this park in the great shape that it's in right at the end of the season last year, along with all the other construction that was going on around this park. They stripped her down, put all new sod in it, built up low parts of the infield.
Hit well by Brookins. High in the air and deep to left center field. Anderson looks up. He'll play it high off the wall. Rice instead fields as it bounced over Anderson's head. And a double for Tom Brookins. He's in scoring position, representing the go-ahead run, leading off the 7th.
Brookins been kind of a thorn in Clemens' side this afternoon. He picks up his second hit here, walked earlier in the ball game after Clemens pretty well had him on the hip. Anderson's going to learn. He's going to get a little bit too close here on this ball and have it bounce hard off that warning track over his head. Rice right there to back the play up where he should be. Usually there's a communication there. One will say, you go on the inside, I'll take the backup play. Obviously, Anderson got a little bit too close. Rice right where he should have been.
Gary Pettis is 0 for 3, and again the Red Sox look for a bunt. Pettis tried to sacrifice his last time up, and the runner, Brookins, was erased at second. Ball 1 the count to Pettis. The 0 for 3. A pop to short, a fly to left, and that failed sacrifice bunt attempt. He squares the bunt, a good bunt down the third base line. Boggs has to go to first. Barrett covering. It's a sacrifice for Pettis. The play goes 5-4, and over to third goes Brookins. The go-ahead run 90 feet away for Sparky Anderson's Tigers with 1 out in the 7th.
Nicely executed this time. Pettis gets himself around nice and square, but when the pitch is on the way, that ball just deadens it right down that third base line. He wants Boggs to field it, pull him in off the bag. Nicely done.
Brookins at third. He's 2 for 2 today. And Lou Whitaker, the batter. He drove in Brookins with a single in the 3rd inning. He's also walked twice. Clemens has walked 4. He has struck out 7, and that pitch fouled away by Whitaker for a strike. Infield in for Boston. The 0-1 slapped out of play, and Clemens ahead of Whitaker. No balls and 2 strikes. A good catch in the luxury skyboxes down the left field line, the reason for the cheer you heard.
Here's a spot here where Clemens has to, I think, take advantage more of his velocity. Nice play in the luxury boxes upstairs.
That's Bob Kraft, the man who tried to buy the Patriots in the tie. Not that gentleman, but 1 row behind. That's Bob Kraft, the man who made the bid to buy the New England Patriots. That's his box. He was the first of many of Billy Sullivan's suitors. Say hello, Bob. Quite a gentleman. The pitch is in the dirt, and it's 1-2. Bob Kraft, an avid Red Sox fan as well, and at one time was interested in purchasing this ball club. But much more important, the situation on the field. Brookins at third with 1 out and a count of 1-2 to Whitaker. Again, pop foul, out of play to the left side. Darrell Evans is on deck. Clemens hoping he can get to Evans without the run scoring, as he has had his way with Evans today. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Boston. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Detroit. We're in the 7th. Again, the 1-2. Fouled in the same direction. Clemens having trouble with the mud again. The rain has stopped, but the mound's still muddy. We've had an off and on drizzle during today's ball game. Again, the 1-2 to Whitaker. Did he check his swing? No, he did not, says Joe Brinkman. It's a strikeout, and a big one for Roger Clemens. They did not have to appeal to Durwood Merrill at third. Joe Brinkman called it a strike, and it's strikeout number 8 for the Rocket.
He'd just get reinforced even if they went down there now. Brinkman will ring Whitaker up. Out of that bag, he'll check it. Boy, it looked like he held a swing there.
Saw Brinkman did not hesitate, did not appeal. He called it the strike. And a big out. Now 2 outs. Brookins still at third, and the batter Darrell Evans, who is 0 for 3 today, he has struck out twice and grounded out. Infield backs up now. That's hit sharply down to Evans. He stayed down with it. He'll beat Darrell Evans to the bag, and the Tiger threat goes by the boards in the 7th. Heading to the 7th inning stretch, still tied at 3.
Think we're going to make it?
This thing does.
Well, at least we're flying back in a 747. Aren't we?
Northwest has daily direct service from Boston to the Far East.
At the New England, we believe the best relationships are the ones that grow stronger as the years go by. Form a relationship with one of our representatives, and we'll be there for you from one year to the next, with life insurance and other financial products and services that can help shape your financial future. Your financial partner, your financial future. The New England.
The Foundation for Exceptional Children is searching for disabled young people who do their personal best. The Yes I Can program honors these children in special ways. Write to Yes I Can, Department T, Reston, Virginia, 22091.
And now, the 11 o'clock news.
Good evening. Our top stories tonight. In Geneva, high-level negotiations are stalled again. In London, the royal family is in for a royal surprise. And on Beacon Hill, another marathon budget debate is... And in Foxborough, the Patriots...
Now, the best news at 11 isn't the news at all. MASH on TV 38.
Monty, really a terrific way to begin the season. We talked at the outset about the pitching matchup. 2 of the best in baseball, maybe the 2 best right-handed pitchers, at least, in baseball. Morris and Clemens. They've each had a struggle from time to time, but they've, being the great professionals that they are, gotten the key outs when they needed them. We just saw Roger Clemens do that in that inning.
They do one of the most important things. They keep your ball club into the ball game when you move into the 6th and 7th innings, and those certainly are the keys. Roger has not been as sharp today as I would have expected him to be. Whether he's been squeezed a little bit by plate umpire Joe Brinkman or not, that remains up for debate. But he certainly has had some pitches that have just missed that have been costly to him. And, of course, the new enforcement of the balk rule has been really aggravating to him, not to mention expensive.
Clemens has been called for 3 balks today. He committed 3 all of last season. Still a 3-3 ball game. Crowd settling back into their seats after the 7th inning stretch. Rich Gedman stepping in to face Jack Morris. It didn't get much better for Gedman after that. He hit just .205 last year in a contract and injury-plagued season. Gedman appeared in just 52 ball games before the thumb sent him to the sidelines. He's 0 for 2 today. The 1-0 pitch to the Red Sox catcher. Right to Trammell. He had Gedman played perfectly up the middle, and that's out number 1. So Gedman now 0 for 3. Spike Owen and Brady Anderson to follow here in the 7th.
There's a special guest in the ballpark today in the 38 luxury box down off to our right shoulder here. Some people from 9X Corporation, Ford Motor Company here enjoying the game today, along with some people from Mitsubishi and the fine people from Pepsi that we have so much fun with. I may give away that bottle. I may give away a whole bottling company before this summer's over if the Red Sox can manage enough home runs. Well, at least a truckload of Pepsi. How's
well,
that?
as usual, our sales staff has given away about 25 tickets in a 14-seat box. I hope the fire marshal isn't up there. Spike Owen hit it hard, but right at Whitaker. Very quickly, 2 away here in the 7th. And the batter is Brady Anderson to face Jack Morris. Anderson has had kind of an up-and-down debut in a Red Sox uniform. Struck out leading off the ball game. Reached on an infield single and a throwing error by Lou Whitaker in the third. Then had a solid single his last time up, but was promptly picked off by Morris. And ball one is low and inside. 3-3 is the score. 2 outs. The bases are empty in the bottom of the 7th. Brady Anderson, 24 years old, from Poway, California. Time called. Beach ball loose in the right field corner. Let's hope we don't see that very often this summer. We're not going to show the people who delay the game by throwing their beach balls on the field. That's chopped foul, and it's 1-1. Brady Anderson started last season at Double-A New Britain. Hit .294 there, was promoted to Pawtucket, and in 1 month with the Paw Sox at Triple-A hit .380. Waited nicely on that off-speed pitch and dropped it into center. Brady Anderson 3 for 4 in his major league debut, and a 2-out base runner for the Red Sox here in the 7th.
Well, a classy piece of hitting by the youngster. He waits so well. Look at those hands stay back. That's the key. He's made the move with his front leg to take the stride, but the hands didn't come out of a hitting position. That's what enabled him to hang back and be able to make. See how the hands stay back? They're still in a hitting position. A little rippling of the muscles in there to take the force out of it. Well, you get him some on-base percentage somewhere moving up. Put he and Burke somewhere up around that lineup in the top. Somebody is going to have some fun.
Marty Barrett has not had much fun today. He's 0 for 3. Hasn't had the ball out of the infield. Again, the delay caused by Morris, who is going to knock some more mud out of his cleats. Talking about Brady Anderson and his hitting. Interesting article on the front page of the Boston Globe sports section today about Brady Anderson, talking about his relationship with his father and how instrumental his father Jerry has been in his development as a baseball player. And it shows. He's had some coaching, and certainly he has a great deal of natural ability.
Well, if that relationship works out as the Boggs family relationship has worked out, look out baseball.
First pitch to Barrett. Low, ball 1. Red Sox now up to 9 hits. Anderson has 3 of them. The Tigers with 6 hits. The score tied at 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Barrett at the plate with 2 outs, a count of 1 ball and no strikes, and Anderson aboard at first. Anderson was picked off the last time he was at first base after singling in the 5th. Change up, strike on the outside corner. 1-1.
Anderson would have loved dearly to pick out one of those pitches and time it, and a chance for a possible stolen base for him. Situation in the ball game where you would try to move that runner once again into scoring position with the stolen base. Barrett not yet, of course, in the hole.
Again, the changeup hit hard to left, but right at Sheridan. He makes the catch for the final out of the 7th. No runs, 1 hit for the Red Sox in the 7th. And at the end of 7 full innings, here at Fenway Park on opening day, the Tigers and Red Sox tied at 3.
He was my partner, Casey.
Sorry he's dead.
I might be a woman, but I know what it means to have a partner. Of course I was close to him, but that doesn't mean I liked him.
Mitchell was a scumbag.
And what I really want to know is...
What do you want to know?
Why we have to die, you know?
I don't know, brother. Why don't you ask the captain?
Be careful when you hit the street. It hits back. Beginning Tuesday, April 12th on TV 38.
In the minors, you must have called it all 1,000 times. Then one day, you got the call.
What's this, rookie umpire?
Here's to you. Beechwood Age for that
that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
Compliment for that gentleman.
This ball's for you.
Diva Industries, one moment, please. Yes, Mr. Hummer.
Suppose you misplaced the Peabody file.
But, Mr. Hummer, I placed it on your desk.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh, the ridiculous incompetence, Miss Barnes. I did what I cannot close the deal.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
9 strikeouts today for Roger Clemens. 5 of them swinging, 4 looking. And some big strikeouts along the way, ending Tiger threats. The biggest of the bunch. Last inning with 1 out. And Brookins at third base. Clemens got Lou Whitaker swinging. Clemens has walked 4. He has allowed 6 hits and 3 runs all earned. And Alan Trammell leads off the Tiger 8th. We get the wrong man at the plate there. It is Alan Trammell, who's 0 for 3. And behind on the count 0-1. Barrett. It was spinning. He stayed with it nicely and threw Trammell out. And Alan Trammell is 0 for 4.
What looked to be a fairly easy play starting off turned into a real nail-biter for Barrett. You have a tendency to rush a bit once that ball is muffed to that side. And remember, Trammell has pretty good speed. That ball doing some squirting back to Barrett's left. Hit right in the heel of the glove, and then from the knee throws out Trammell.
Batter Matt Noakes, who tied the ball game in his last at-bat by ripping a home run over the Red Sox bullpen at right center. It's his only hit in 3 trips. High in the air to left. Breeze blowing it back a bit, but still room for Rice. And quickly 2 outs here in the 8th, and that's 5 in a row retired by Roger Clemens. Monty mentioned earlier, Roger Clemens already the Red Sox career record holder in 10 strikeout games. He has had 21 games with 10 strikeouts or more, and he needs 1 more to make it 22 for his career. Pat Sheridan was fanned twice, and that was a very late swing for strike 1.
Got to make up your mind just a tap earlier than that.
And I tell you, the people in the third base upper box seats would wish that he would too, because that was a rocket straight sideways. Sheridan walked and scored in the 4th. And he's behind 0-2, in danger of being the 10th strikeout victim of the day for Clemens, and the 3rd time that Sheridan will have gone down, should he fan here. Clemens has retired the side in order today just once. That was in the 2nd when he struck out the side. Just missed. 1-2.
It's one point of the ball game that Roger was interested in getting himself to and still be very strong. That's one reason he wanted to build those legs up over the wintertime, not to a point that they became muscular. I want to be out for taking that pitch.
But they're widening the strike zone. We have not seen it very consistently this afternoon. Might have been just a tail outside. Look there, like Gedman did indeed bring the glove back in. No doubt about that one. Strikeout number 10 for Roger Clemens. The 3rd time he fans Pat Sheridan. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Red Sox and Tigers still tied at 3.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We love to fly.
kick. Sometimes even Pat Riley's stomach can lose its cool. That's when he reaches for Rolaids. Nothing works better for acid indigestion, so Pat's free to let his emotions really show.
Not bad.
Relief. You know how to spell it.
It's out there again, waiting. Allergy season. But allergies don't have to be a big problem. Not with fast-acting Benadryl, the most prescribed allergy medication ever.
On the next Family Ties.
You're about to have a fight. We are not about to have a fight.
That's right, sweetheart. It's a fight.
Take cover for the first annual Keaton Family Feud.
Hey, if I've been neglecting my better half, well, excuse me.
Can they patch this one up next time on Family Ties?
Just the two of us?
What would you suggest?
Let's call Amnesty International.
Family Ties, Monday at 6 on TV 38.
Elsewhere on opening day, Milwaukee leads Baltimore 4-0. They're at the top of the 6th inning now in Baltimore. George Bell, supposedly a disruptive influence on the Blue Jay club. He's been disruptive to Kansas City today. Bell has 2 home runs, and Toronto leads Kansas City 4-2. George Brett has homered for Kansas City, and California leads Chicago 1-0 in the 3rd at Chicago. In the National League, no score. The Mets in Montreal, top of the 1st inning. Gooden against Martinez. St. Louis and Cincinnati playing in Cincinnati today. And the Cardinals lead that ball game by a score of 4-1. Joe McGrain, the Cardinals starting pitcher, has hit a 3-run homer in that ball game. All of the rest of the action is later on. Just one other game in the National League getting underway in about 10 minutes. San Francisco is at Los Angeles. 3 night games tonight in the American League. Wade Boggs leads off the 8th in a 3-3 game and takes ball 1 low from Jack Morris. Boggs is twice doubled. He scored after doubling in the 4th, and he struck out looking on 3 pitches his last time up in the 5th. On the outside corner, thigh high, a strike. Morris has walked only 1. That was Greenwell leading off the 2nd. He has struck out 6. Change up, spanked up the middle, Trammell. 1 out. The left-hander is Willie Hernandez. The right-hander Mike Henneman warming up in the Tiger bullpen. And Monty, for Red Sox fans, last year this would have been a time of concern in the ball game. The Red Sox tied or slightly ahead, trying to protect the lead. Nobody out there in the bullpen to help them stay in it. This year, Lee Smith's out there should the Red Sox need to call upon him. But it looks like Roger Clemens is breezing right along. It is still a relief to know that the big guy is out there should they need him. Tough day at the office for Jim Rice. He's 0 for 3. He has struck out twice and popped up to the catcher Heath in foul ground. One out, the base is empty. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The score is tied at 3. High in the air to center field, but plenty of room for Pettis. 2 away. Morris has retired 7 of the last 8 Red Sox batters. The Red Sox scoring all of their runs in the 4th. A double by Boggs, a single by Greenwell, put runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Dwight Evans doubled to center, scoring Boggs, and then Sam Horn ripped a 2-run single through the right side, scoring Greenwell and Evans. Mike Greenwell, first ball hitting and popping it up. This will be a 1-2-3 inning for Morris as Trammell puts it away. We go to the 9th. The Tigers and Red Sox still tied at 3.
Be one of America's winners when you bring home savings from Dodge. Combine our cashback and discount packages for big savings on most new Dodge cars and trucks in stock. Save big on cars. $1,525 on Daytona Shelby Z. Save on trucks. $1,900 on full-size Ram pickups. $2,250 on selected Dakota 4x2s. Save on imports. $1,356 on Ram 50. $955 on Colt DL. So see your Dodge dealer today and be one of America's winners.
It's gotta be a Dodge.
As we mentioned during the last half inning, it's good to have Lee Smith in the bullpen in situations just like these. And in fact, Lee Smith has begun warming up as we go to the 9th inning in a 3-3 game. Roger Clemens doesn't look like he needs the help lately. He's retired the last 6 men he has faced. And he'll face the bottom third of the Tiger order. They've done much of the damage this afternoon for Detroit. Chet Lemon to start it off, then Mike Heath and Tom Brookins, the scheduled 3. Strike 1 to Lemon. He made his mark in the ball game with an RBI triple to right field, scoring Sheridan with the second Tiger run in the 4th. Well outside with the fastball, 1-1. Clemens' longest outing of spring training was 7 innings. Fly ball drifting toward the seats. The wind bringing it back. Greenwell reaches in. And it does not appear as though he has it. He does not. And it's strike 2. Good effort by Greenwell. It appeared that that ball was going to sail well into the seats. But there's a breeze blowing across the field from right to left. And that helped bring it back. Check swing and a ball high, 2-2. Lemon out of Fremont High School in Los Angeles, the same school that has sent many big leaguers to baseball. Evans will flip to Clemens. They execute the play nicely. That's 7 in a row retired by Roger Clemens. Let's pause now for station identification. This is the TV 38 Red Sox Network.
This is TV 38, WSBK TV, Boston.
The batter is Mike Heath. While we have a moment, some of the others to come out of Fremont High in Los Angeles, like Chet Lemon, and go on to Major League Baseball. Bob Watson, the former Red Sox player. Bobby Tolan, George Hendrick, and Dan Ford. Celtics fans would like to forget that Curtis Rowe came out of that high school and went on to the NBA. Heath grounds it right to Barrett. 2 outs in the top of the 9th. The score is tied at 3. The Red Sox have out-hit the Tigers 9-6. Monty, here's a man who's been trouble for Clemens today. Tom Brookins, 2 for 2. He's also walked and scored a run. $34,781 the attendance today. Fastball in there for a strike. Roger does not seem to have lost anything off his fastball.
No, indeed.
Comes right back with it. It's fouled away by Brookins. Quickly 0-2. Looking ahead to the Red Sox 9th inning, they have Dwight Evans, Sam Horn, and Rich Gedman scheduled to face Jack Morris. The crowd rising in anticipation of Clemens' 11th strikeout. And they get it. A called third strike, belt high on the outside corner. 9 in a row retired by Clemens. He has 11 strikeouts in the ball game, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Detroit and the Red Sox tied at 3.
Game Monopoly is back at McDonald's, bigger and better than ever.
This year, there's over $50 million in prizes.
Hey, a Coca-Cola, McDLT.
Win instantly, or collect the right game pieces and win loads of cash, or maybe a new house.
Oh, like the house.
Or hundreds of Sears shopping sprees. Whoa! Play Monopoly at McDonald's.
This time, it's not just big, it's huge.
Isn't it a wonder?
Pepsi, and now caffeine-free Diet Pepsi, the taste that's generations ahead.
Hi, I'm Dwight Evans of the Boston Red Sox, and I have to say that I've got a great feeling about the 1988 season. With the strong starting pitching, a much improved bullpen, solid hitting and an experience of our veterans, and the enthusiastic talent of our younger players, I've got to believe the fun has just begun. You can be a part of it all by enjoying Red Sox baseball at Fenway Park.
For more information, call 267-1700.
Find out why the fun has just begun.
Jack Morris has thrown 105 pitches through 8 innings today, and he's recorded 6 strikeouts. Roger Clemens, on the other hand, Monty, has thrown 136 pitches through 9 innings, and with Lee Smith continuing to throw in the bullpen, I'd imagine that this will probably be all for Roger Clemens should the ball game go into extra innings. He certainly has finished on a high note if that's the case, as he's retired 9 in a row and struck out Brookins to end the 9th.
Well, you don't like to necessarily bring your stopper into a ball game in the latter innings with the score tied, but you also can't win a pennant on the first day of the season either. So there's no point leaving Roger Clemens in a ball game at this point if he's thrown that many pitches. You mentioned the 7th innings, the longest he had gone during spring training.
Dwight Evans to start it off here in the 9th against Jack Morris. The game tied at 3. Horn and Gedman scheduled to follow. Morris has retired 4 in a row as he heads toward the 9th, and his first pitch of the inning, low and away, ball 1. Evans' double came in the 4th. He also scored in that inning. Red Sox scored all of their runs in the 4th. A lead double by Boggs. Then after Rice popped out, Greenwell singled Boggs to third. Evans doubled to the wall in center, scoring Boggs. And Sam Horn grounded a single to the right side, scoring Greenwell and Evans. The 1-0 from Morris. Change up, popped foul straight back, 1-1. Sellout crowd on hand today. 34,781 the attendance. And they're all still here, looking around. Not an empty seat in sight. And we've been fortunate with the weather as well. Just a light drizzle from time to time, and that's been it. Strike 2. Breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. 1-2. Took a lot off that one. It was short of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
These 2 pitchers may set the tone for this entire series. They'll be off tomorrow afternoon, of course. And on Wednesday, Hurst will face Doyle Alexander, and then Boyd against Tanana. So it may be a series that the hitters will take off, period.
The 2-2 to Evans. Swing and a foul tip. Heath applied the tag. Perhaps not a foul tip since he had to apply the tag, and Evans was not alive. He missed it completely. A strikeout for Evans. Strikeout number 7 for Morris.
Back to the bread and butter pitch for Morris. He has been there just about all day long when he's really needed someone to get out. And right to that split-fingered fastball once again, it dancing and darting and getting Heath on the heel of the mitt, causing him to drop it.
Sam Horn, the batter. He's 1 for 3, but has hit a big one, a 2-run single in the 4th, driving in the 2nd and 3rd Red Sox runs. The game is tied at 3. We're in the bottom of the 9th. 1 out and the base is empty. Hernandez and Henneman are still throwing in the Tiger bullpen. Smith continues to throw in the Red Sox bullpen. Outside, ball 1. Low, 2-0.
Here's where the slider and the split-fingered fastball have been such an asset to Morris, because he doesn't have to give in to a hitter. He still has his number, well, it's not his number 1 pitch anymore, but for a long time it was that split-fingered fastball. I would almost say it was been his number 1 pitch this afternoon. it has certainly got him out of trouble and kept him from getting in trouble. May see it right here.
The 2-0 to Horn. Change up. And a strike. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. The base is empty. We're in the bottom of the 9th in a 3-3 game. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 9th for Morris. He now has 8 strikeouts in the game, and he has retired 6 in a row.
What a performance these two pitchers are putting on this afternoon. Morris going both ways. He's a ground ball pitcher. He's had those today, 8 ground ball outs. And now he's come up with his 8th strikeout. Well, Morris not holding anything back. He's giving you everything.
Rich Gedman is 0 for 3. Has not had the ball out of the infield and takes the changeup inside, ball 1. Fouled straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Spike Owen waiting on deck.
Morris's career record not all that great against the Red Sox. I think he's something like 12 and 11 against them career-wise. But he has really turned in some dandies in this ballpark. Part of a double shutout against the Red Sox here a number of years ago. He and Petrie backed them up.
Down the left field line, slicing toward the stands and into the stands. Brookins gave chase, but he ran out of room. And the count to Rich Gedman, a ball and 2 strikes. Morris, as you mentioned, Monty, 12 and 11 lifetime against the Red Sox. Just 1 game over 500. He is 57 games over 500 for his major league career. He was nasty against the Sox last year. He was 2-0 against Boston with an ERA of 0.50.
Stingy, wasn't he?
Worked 18 innings. Gave up just 2 earned runs while striking out 14 against the Sox last year. Not quite that impressive today, but good enough to keep himself in position for a win. Change up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Talk about the nervousness of the players. It's all gone for them, but both managers still sitting on the edge of their seats. So are these people in this ballpark. They've seen quite a display this afternoon, mostly pitching.
Strike 3. What a performance by Morris in the 9th. He strikes out the side and now has 9 strikeouts for the ball game. We are heading for extra innings on opening day. The Red Sox and Tigers tied at 3.
Turtle Wax gives a hard shell finish.
Generation after generation, Turtle Wax has been the #1 selling car wax. Only Turtle Wax gives a super hard shell finish, and it's still the best-selling car wax in the world.
Turtle Wax.
I love keeping my car shiny, so I switched to ClearGuard Protectant. It's from Turtle Wax. You know Armor All's mostly water. The ClearGuard's all shine. Now, I hear they've got tests that prove it. But here's all the proof I need.
ClearGuard shines better, shines longer.
Come from working on Thailand Beach. Try to make some supper, but I can't even eat. Jump in the shower, watch the world from my back. Gotta get you, baby, that's a natural fact. In the nighttime, that's the right time. I wanna be with you in the nighttime.
The night belongs to Michelob.
New pitcher for the Red Sox as we go to extra innings. Lee Smith came on for his first Fenway Park appearance and his first regular season appearance with Boston to a thunderous standing ovation. And Smith on now for the 10th inning in a 3-3 ball game.
Well, the save thing doesn't apply for Smith here. He will be standing to win a ball game, something that he's not well known for. The big thing for him, he is the only National League pitcher to save 30 or more games in 4 consecutive seasons, and he's done that in style. You look at the numbers, the won and lost edge for Smith last year. The big number, though, that lower left-hand corner, 36 saves.
In 62 appearances for the Chicago Cubs.
Intimidator, you bet he is. The size is there, the velocity is there. 6'6", 245 pounds. And the numbers for him through spring training were just like he went on through the end of the season last year. Gave up very, very few hits. Only 4 in 15 innings of work. One of those, a home run to Chet Lemon in a game, an exhibition game in Florida. Here's Jack Morris on the strikeout of Rich Gedman. That split-fingered fastball doing the honors once again. That inning in the ninth. Now you figure it's late. Morris strikes out the side. You don't think of him as a strikeout pitcher.
Roger Clemens leaves, having retired the last 9 men that he faced. Smith faces the leadoff man Gary Pettis and comes in with strike 1. His first pitch as a member of the Red Sox. Pettis 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt his last time up. He'll be followed by Whitaker and Evans in the 10th. Roger Clemens went 9 innings. Allowed 3 runs, all earned on 6 hits. He walked 4, struck out 11, committed 3 balks, and gave up 1 home run. The game tire to Matt Noakes in the 6th. 2-1. Smith, 30 years old, native of Louisiana. The 2-1 to Pettis. To Owen. Bad hop up into the midsection. He could not come up with it. And a speedster aboard leading off the 9th inning, the 10th inning rather, for Detroit. Gary Pettis. And I think they'd have to score that one an error. Ball bounced up on Spike, but a play should have been made.
Indeed an error. Smith coming right after Pettis.
Last hop comes up a little, and he wasn't ready for it. So the speedster Pettis representing the go-ahead run is aboard at first for Lou Whitaker, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the 3rd. He's also walked twice, and he struck out his last time up in the 7th. Rich Gedman threw out Pettis trying to steal in the 5th. Bunt attempt pulled back by Whitaker. Ball 1.
Would do well to take a couple of throws to first to see if Whitaker perhaps would give something away for you. It's not etched in stone that Whitaker is going to be bunting all along with a fastballer on the mound. They do a lot over in that National League, and I'm sure Lee Smith is well aware of it. Whitaker probably would not be. Instead of taking a throw over to first like that in the bunt situation, they'll just wind up and throw it right up under the hitter's chin. And to do that, they know he's not going to be bunting it, but they find out if the bunt is in fact on.
He does bunt right back toward the mound. Smith goes to first. He had a play, it appeared, at second perhaps, and the crowd groaned as he threw out Whitaker at first. Barrett took the throw. It's 1-4 at first. Smith never even glanced toward second.
Well, this is where you have to pick up your catcher. Gedman would have been hollering at him. The reason he's going to have a play at second because Pettis has to hold up to make sure the ball can't be handled in the air. Smith never heard Gedman and wasn't thinking about the runner having to hold up because he definitely would have had a play at second on Pettis.
Instead, it's a sacrifice and the go-ahead run at second base with 1 out for the Tigers here in the 10th. Pettis at second, and Darrell Evans the batter. Evans is glad that Roger Clemens has departed, as you can tell by those numbers. 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Boston. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Detroit. Deep to right field. Way back to the wall. And caught by Greenwell. Tagging up Pettis. He goes into third.
Well, you could think that Evans is thinking one thing. I'm going to get the head of the bat out on the fastball. He knows he's going to get it, and he knows he missed it right there. He knows he popped it up. Strong enough for Detroit, but not Boston. Greenwell is about as deep as you can get, just about brushing that 380 mark. And, of course, it's easy for Pettis. Pettis can almost tag up and walk over there from where Greenwell was. Well, they'll make your heart skip a beat, though. Even Evans would have skipped a beat there. Both of them, Dwight and Darrell.
And Alan Trammell at the plate. He is 0 for 4 today. Go ahead run at third. The pitch high, a ball.
These are so many situations you're going to see Smith come into ball games in. A number of times this year, that runner at third, 2 outs, need to keep the ball out of play.
Fouled straight back, 1-1.
You don't give up an awful lot when you go from Clemens to a Smith as far as velocity is concerned, and for a lot of hitters it can be very disgusting. You think you've done a pretty good job if you get Clemens out of a ball game in the 7th or the 8th inning. All of a sudden you look up and find a man coming from the bullpen who's fresh and throws just as hard. You have a tendency to kind of hang your head and wonder just exactly what you can do.
High and away, 2-1. 3-3 the score. We're in the top of the 10th inning. Alan Trammell at the plate with 2 outs, and Gary Pettis, the potential go-ahead run, at third. Hit high in the air and deep to left. Way back and gone. A home run for Alan Trammell. First of the season for Trammell. Second of the afternoon for the Tigers, and a 5-3 Detroit lead.
Well, he's the man you would fear pulling a fastball in this ballpark. Boy, does he ever turn on it quickly. Right in the heart of the strike zone. And Trammell puts the Tigers in front.
And the error by Spike Owen, indeed very costly, as Pettis reached on the air, starting the inning by Spike Owen. Matt Noakes has the other Tiger home run, his only hit in 4 trips. And the count to him is 2-0. The Tigers were the only team that scored against Smith in spring training, and the only run that he allowed in spring training came on a home run by Chet Lemon. Many of the fans now heading for the exits. The Red Sox have Spike Owen in the top of the order, Brady Anderson and Marty Barrett scheduled in the 10th. 3-0 is the count. And Noakes goes high in the air to right field. Greenwell to the warning track. And he makes his second catch with his back up against the wall. So Lee Smith hit hard in the 10th. And the Tigers score twice on the home run by Trammell. We go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Detroit 5, the Red Sox 3.
What does it take to become the #1 dealers in New England and stay #1? Well, your local Ford dealers know.
Now at your New England Ford dealer, you can get a great deal on the world's best-selling car, the front-wheel drive Ford Escort. Get a $500 cash bonus and combine that with the special option package for a savings of over $1,200 in all.
So go with #1 for a great deal on the #1 cars and trucks in America, your New England Ford dealers.
last season, Cooper bats were a very big hit in the major leagues.
Tony Fernandez digs in. A swing and a drive. He's hit it hard to right field.
This year, Cooper gloves are a great catch in the majors, in Cooper styles and Cooper models. Now, Canada's best-selling gloves are making a name in the majors, and what Cooper did at the plate, they'll do in the field.
To left field. Here comes Raines coming hard. He dives. What a catch. A sensational catch by Raines.
Lee Smith accustomed to working in small ballparks, and I think he has an idea right away that this one is long gone from Alan Trammell's bat. Dick Tracewski knew it. First home of the year for Alan Trammell, and Smith taking over for Clemens in the top of the 10th inning, giving up the 2-run homer to Trammell. Tigers leading 5-3, and they have gone to their bullpen, and it's Mike Henneman. Hernandez now, as you saw, warming up beside Henneman just a moment ago, is more of a setup man. And Henneman has won the favor with Sparky Anderson to close games out, and he'll try to hold on to this one, the 2-run lead, and make a winner out of Jack Morris. Very good numbers for Henneman right there, working last year. Of course, those are timely numbers. You have to be in the right place at the right time. And Henneman kind of worked the other way last year. He was more of a setup man as opposed to a closer in the ball game, into middle relief, sometimes middle to short relief. Consequently, those victories much higher than the save totals are there. 7 saves for the right-hander. Doesn't really overpower you as a pitcher. He'll move the ball around. He'll give you a lot of ground balls. He'll turn the ball over. A little kind of a nickel slider, not an overpowering type slider to go with that running fastball.
Couple of boos for Spike Owen as he steps in, leading off the 10th. His error opened the door for that home run by Trammell. Spike's 0 for 3 at the plate. Red Sox trail by 2, 5-3. Owen to be followed by Anderson and Barrett. You surprised at all, Monty, that they don't hit for Spike Owen in this situation with Benzinger available?
No, you're 2 runs down. You need a base runner somewhere. I don't know what Benzinger could give you that Owen is not going to give you.
Well, he's a better hitter in my book. He's a better hitter for average and for power. Spike Owen not at all as strong from the left side of the plate as he has been on the right side of the plate in his career. Chet Lemon is coming in from right field, apparently for a new glove. Jack Morris worked 9 innings, allowing 9 hits and 3 runs. He walked 1 and struck out 9. And he stands to be the winning pitcher if Mike Henneman can save it for him. Strike 2. Fastball on the inside part of the plate from Henneman. Henneman, 26 years old. The 0-2 to Owen. In the dirt, 1-2. Late in spring training, John McNamara made the point that he was wavering a bit as to who his regular shortstop would be. Would it be Spike Owen or Jody Reed? And that question probably still very much on his mind. Owen goes deep to right, but plenty of room there for Lemon as Spike lines out to right. He's 0 for 4. Eight in a row now retired by Tiger pitching. The last Red Sox batter to reach base, Brady Anderson, and he's up again. Brady 3 for 4 with 3 singles today. We're in the bottom of the 10th inning. 1 out, the base is empty. The Tigers lead 5-3 on Alan Trammell's 2-run homer in the top of this inning. Strike 1. Marty Barrett on deck. Fouled away and quickly 0-2 to Brady Anderson. Henneman, a native of St. Charles, Missouri. Attended college at Oklahoma State. Pitched in the College World Series for the Cowboys in 1983 and 84. The 0-2 to Anderson. Hit sharply right to Trammell. Line drive caught by the Tigers shortstop. And the Tigers now 1 out away from victory. Up to Marty Barrett to keep it alive. And like Trammell in the top of this inning, who was 0 for 4 previous to his home run, Barrett is due. He's 0 for 4. If Barrett can keep it alive, Wade Boggs waits on deck. Strike one. That's outside. 1-1 to Barrett. On the outside corner at the knees, and Barrett barking at Joe Brinkman. Give Joe Brinkman credit for consistency. He's been consistently erratic all afternoon with his strike zone. This should end the ball game. No, it will not. It goes through the legs of Whitaker. And the Red Sox alive. A slow roller. Reminiscent of the World Series a couple of seasons ago. The Red Sox 1 out away from defeat this time, and Lou Whitaker has it go right through his legs.
Count on one hand the number of times you've seen Whitaker do this in his career. It's a routine ground ball. The ball plays him. He comes up. Ball goes underneath, and the Red Sox have a life.
And Wade Boggs to face Mike Henneman. Boggs 2 for 4 with a pair of doubles. Those coming in his first 2 at bats. Strike one. Jim Rice is on deck. Detroit 5, Boston 3. Sparky Anderson has moved first baseman Darrell Evans over closer to the first base line. The pitch in the dirt. 1-1.
The hitter is the man that they're concerned with, not only because it's the third out, but they're interested in Boggs because he represents the tying run. They don't care if Barrett just takes off and scores. They have to keep Boggs out of scoring position. Outfield will be a little bit deeper. Line should be guarded.
Up the middle. Trammell makes the play, flips it to Whitaker, and the ball game is over. Mike Henneman saves it for Jack Morris. And on opening day, 1988, the Detroit Tigers post a 5-3 victory over the Boston Red Sox. Five runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for Detroit. 3 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. The line for Boston. Will return with more from Fenway Park right after this.
Come from work, you know I'm tired on beach. Try to make some supper, but I can't even eat. Jump in the shower, watch the world from my back. Gotta get you, baby, that's a natural fact. It's the night time. That's the right time. I wanna be with you in the night time.
The night belongs to Michelob.
Well, the Red Sox hit no home runs this afternoon, but there's always Friday night's game against the Texas Rangers. Every time a Red Sox player hits a home run on a TV 38 televised game, you could win 2 tickets to a Red Sox home game and a case of Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. To enter, and it's easy, just send your name and address on a postcard to TV 38 Pepsi Home Run Sweepstakes, Box 500, Boston, Massachusetts, 02135.
Story of the ball game, some wonderful pitching through 9 innings by both Jack Morris and Roger Clemens. They left after 9 innings each, with the game tied at 3. Then in the 10th inning, Lee Smith came on to a hero's welcome in his first outing here at Fenway Park, and his debut as a Red Sox pitcher got off to an ominous start when Spike Owen made an error on the first batter, Gary Pettis.
A little bit spoiled by a speedster. It looked to be a routine ground ball, even though it did take a little bit of a bounce up on Spike. It was a ball that certainly could have been handled, should have been handled, and that allowed the speedster to get on. Then after a sacrifice and the runner winding up at second base, and then a deep fly ball out with Pettis now over at third, right in the heart of the strike zone to Alan Trammell goes Smith with a fastball. And Trammell, who come up with just 1 hit in the afternoon, and he'll draw a big smile, not only because it's a game winner. Those hitters in those positions know how to rise to the occasion. He's thinking about hitting that ball up in that net or off that wall to score Pettis. And you only get 1 hit a ball game, it's the one that crushes you. Alan Trammell did that today.
At the second home run of the day for the Tigers, Matt Noakes had the previous home run to tie the ball game at 3 for Detroit in the 6th inning. It stayed that way until the 10th when those 2 runs scored for the Tigers on the home run by Trammell. The final score of today's game, Detroit 5 and Boston 3. This is the TV 38 Red Sox Network.
Today's Anheuser-Busch players of the game. They have to go to a pair. Alan Trammell for the 2-run homer to make a winner out of Jack Morris. Morris picking up his first win, an outstanding performance for him. Morris with 9 innings of work, striking out 9 Red Sox batters. Morris now 1-0 in the year. Congratulations, Anheuser-Busch and Al and Jack. These buds are for you.
Red Sox baseball has been brought to you in part by Michelob. So exceptionally smooth, the night belongs to Michelob. By Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows. By your local Pepsi-Cola bottlers. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. And by the New England, the financial services company that believes in the value of long-term relationships. Make the New England your financial partner. Join us again Friday night at 8 from Texas as the Red Sox take on the Rangers. Essen brings you the remaining 2 games against the Tigers from Fenway on Wednesday and Thursday afternoons, both games beginning at 1 o'clock. Tune in to TV 38 tomorrow night at 8:30 when the Movie Loft presents Man on a Swing. Stay tuned next for DuckTales. This has been a TV 38 Sports presentation.